Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
All right, hello, True Heel Heat. I'm the AEW World Champion MJF. Just in case you're deaf, dumb, blind, stupid, or since you listen to this podcast, or you're listening to True Heel Heat, and I apologize for that.
Hey guys, it's Dan Rosa and welcome to True Heel Heat.
This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero. And if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to the boys.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for AEWramble 166 renewed, reviewing the October 2nd, 2024 edition of AEW Dynamite with its 5-year anniversary. And a lot for us to discuss. I am joined here live by my esteemed colleague. You know him. He's the man of 55,000 subscribers. You go to him for your TV and movie reviews, as well as every Thursday here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel for his honest criticisms of Tony Khan and All Elite Wrestling. He is Jimmy Macram.
Hello, ladies and gents. How are you?
Doing well, sir. I hope you are doing well as well, because we got a lot to discuss going on in the world of AEW, not just last night's 5-year anniversary, but the long build up to the TV rights deal has finally came to fruition. And I hate to, tap us on the back, but we got a lot of things right about this. We almost hit it right on the head, because we are honest podcasters. I know you want to defend the people that aren't so honest, but we are honest podcasters, and we do our due diligence, and we understood the landscape, and we got a lot of things right. Got to give it to us.
I'm never against that. I pat myself in the back frequently. Shoulder pain.
You would get started. But yes, we got a lot to discuss. Thank you guys for joining us live. We appreciate y'all. If you're joining us live, we appreciate y'all. If you're watching us on demand, remember to show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. You can drop the thumbs up on this video, help the YouTube algorithms over there. It helps other wrestling fans like yourself check out the latest edition of AEWramble. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, welcome, and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. You come on a good week because we got 7 days pretty much of consistent live streams and content for you to enjoy, whether it be shorts, whether it be live stream, whether it be pre-recorded. We are here to give you the wrestling goodness going on, and definitely AEWramble is here every Thursday, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, the best AEW Dynamite review in the land. So that reason why, one of the big reasons why, is because we love to interact with all of you guys and hear your thoughts on AEW Dynamite. So sound off in the live chat if you're watching on any of the 3 platforms. We want to interact with all of you and hear your thoughts on last night's AEW Dynamite 5-year anniversary, as well as the new media rights deal with Warner Brothers Discovery. And of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you can do it in the best way possible. Hit the $ and send a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate that kind of support. We got our good brother G Loke in the chat who says, "What it do at True Heel Heat? Can't wait to hear this review, and please smash up that like." Indeed. Thank you, G Loke. We got Ricky in the chat who says, "What's up, SB3 and Jimmy? Goat. Finally, I can watch y'all live." Welcome back, Ricky. Yeah, we haven't seen you in a few weeks, and we haven't seen the Negro Buck, Nick Jackson. Nicky Boy's in the chat with us today. He says, "What's up, my good brothers? It's been a minute," and he says, "Y'all are as honest as it gets." Indeed. We appreciate that. We appreciate that for sure. We also got Eric Isaacs, our in-comment reviewer, who says, "Hey, THH fam, welcome Shelton and Bobby. Welcome back Jay and Brit, and get well Taz and Sammy." Only one of those is for real, to be honest.
What happened to Sammy? I saw something. What happened?
He suffered a concussion during a taping before AEW Dynamite went live. They were taping a match for ROH TV, and he suffered a concussion during the matchup.
You don't want anybody to suffer any type of injuries, particularly brain injuries. Yeah, just saying, it's a lot. Like, it's a consistent thing. Like, I feel like we're on schedule with somebody getting hurt in the Sammy Guevara match. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, is that not the case? It's a little different this time. He hurt himself, but that's an improvement, I guess. Call it a win.
Well, if you're new to here, when Jimmy says stuff like that, you just hear one of these.
The words and opinions of Jimmy Macram do not necessarily reflect those of True Heel Heat, its viewers, or affiliates.
This man is a terrorist. Why am I the bad guy?
Wait, who's the terrorist? Are you calling me a terrorist?
Oh, Sammy Guevara.
Or Sammy?
Yes. Frequently hurts other people. Now he hurt himself. It's a danger to himself and other people. He should be locked up. Why am I the bad guy?
What is wrong with you? You called him a terrorist.
The words and opinions of Jimmy Macram do not necessarily reflect those of True Heel Heat, its viewers, or affiliates.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a kid now too. Do we trust the kid? Do we trust him around the kid?
Oh, now we're picking on children.
I'm not picking on children. I'm picking on his dad. I'm wondering if it's okay to leave the kid standing around the kid. I don't know. Picks the kid up, starts flipping him around and shit. He's an unsafe worker. I'm asking a question. Oh well.
Okay. It was a question, so you don't get a disclaimer for that one. But we do have a super chat donation to start us off right here. Thank you, Louisville, for starting us on the right path. And Tony Schiavone, tell him what he can
speak, bitch. Come on now. Oh my God, Schiavone. What the hell is wrong with you?
Louisville says, I want to see Big Bobby chuck Darby to Russia. I've been hearing a lot of people since Darby has the open challenge. We're going to talk about the promo that he had on Dynamite. A lot of people immediately, when I was like complimenting the promo on Twitter, mad people were commenting to me or DMing me saying, I think it's going to be Bobby Lashley. I was like, I did not expect that, but
I'm here for it.
That's something I'd be down for.
Do you give Darby another loss, though? I don't know.
At this point, after the promo that he had, when he really came off like pretty stupid with the decision making of putting your title shot on the line at the Grand Slam, and then he just totally he has turned into one of the more believable promos where he tells me a story about almost getting stabbed on a bus, and I'm just like, you know what? It makes sense why you did what you did.
Sounds right. I'm here for it.
I totally get you now. So you know what? It makes sense why you did what you did. He's Teflon to me, where I think that he can either cut a promo or have another great match that makes me be like, oh, it's all right, he lost.
Fair enough. He doesn't know one of those guys.
Yeah. And it feels like we are on the path of his redemption, and we don't need the redemption to immediately start at WrestleMania.
Yeah. You know what? It's Lashley. We'll do it.
Yeah. We got a couple of more people in the chat with us today. Thank you again, Louisville. We appreciate it. Your favorite Frantic World, who says to Eric Bischoff, Jim, I guess he's talking about Cornette, JD from NY, and Triple H, F you. This t-shirt company will outlast WCW. It's okay to cry now.
For the Triple H did you?
I was like, when it said and Triple H, I was like, Triple H really hasn't done anything.
She's thinking it's like pot shots. I don't think he's for the destruction.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know who JD from New York is, but like the others two have.
Yeah, and JD from New York he used to be an AEW fan. It's just been weird. I guess he's seen the numbers that the people that shit on it and decided to follow the trend. And I hate the way that he uses NY. He's not bringing us down. Nikki Boy, he says, I need to give y'all a new disclaimer. I look so raggedy in that. Hey, you look better than the one where you were just sitting on the couch for Silver Guy JJ. At least this one is a proper one. We also got Nicky Boy. He says, I love that clip so much. It's my favorite one. It's how we start off every AEW.
Oh, the bitch it's the greatest thing ever.
That's why I had to call people out, like, send a super chat. I gotta hear that at least once during AEWramble. Last week it took us to the end of the show to get a super chat. So I was like, come on, guys, I gotta hear that at least once today. We also got Louisville, who agrees. He says, to Bobby Lashley, absolutely. Ricky says, hope the open challenge is Ricky Starks. I've kind of lost hope when Ricky comes back.
Yeah, it's over. I've given up on this. I'm reading this conversation between Frantic World and Alex Powell. How do I say this? I don't want to be rude. It's already we up to 2 already. That's like, I think it's my high for like the last 2 weeks. I want to keep it together. We're talking about Triple H's booking of black wrestlers. Then Alex Powell says somebody, I don't see who, is making a defense. Jade, Bianca, and Mello. His defense of using black wrestlers is pointing out the black wrestlers being used. Yes. What a scumbag. How dare he? Fucking idiot. And what was the other thing? Tony Khan. Absolutely. So because he pushes the biggest coon on earth, now all of a sudden he's Malcolm X. What are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we doing this? Why am I being...
The words and opinions of Jimmy Macram do not necessarily reflect those of True Heel Heat, its viewers, or affiliates.
To be fair, he's not the biggest coon on earth. That's a wild thing.
That's why you get
the biggest coon in wrestling. How's that? Is that better? That we know of. Who had the balls to come out and just come out with it. Other niggas just be quiet and they just sit behind. He can come right out with it. All right, fair enough. Whatever. I guess. Fair enough.
No, I didn't say all that. That's kind of ridiculous. But Let's talk about the big news, which everybody wants to talk about in the chat, it seems, and we definitely want to talk about it because it's been something that we've talked about a lot on this show. But it was announced on Wednesday, ahead of the AEW Dynamite 5th year anniversary, that it is official. AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery have re-signed their deal. They renewed their deal. It's a 3 years guaranteed with a 4th year option, multi-platform media rights deal with Warner Brothers Discovery. First reported by Variety, says the financial terms of the deal were not disclosed, but according to Variety sources, the deal was valued at upwards of $150 million per year when all elements are taken into account. Under the new deal, AEW shows AEW Dynamite and AEW Collision will remain on TBS and TNT respectively. But for the first time since the launch in 2019, AEW programming will stream live on the Max streaming service simultaneously for U.S. subscribers and will be available to stream on demand starting in January 2025. It also notes that the pay-per-views for All Elite Wrestling will be included on the Max streaming service, also starting in 2025 at a discounted price per event, with all marketing and promotions of those events exclusively centered on Max. It's a big deal as far as getting on the Max streaming service. It then was confirmed by multiple sources, starting with WrestleVotes. They were the first to report that the deal with Warner Brothers Discovery and AEW is actually above the $150 million sources said to Variety. Sean Ross Sapp as well as Andrew Zarian have really been on top of all the reporting of the deal and the negotiations. They also confirmed WrestleVotes report. Sean Ross Sapp just put out a tweet clarifying some of the details from his report. He says the deal is closer to $185 million annual average. Both sides said they didn't provide the $150 million number to Variety. Both Warner Brothers Discovery and All Elite Wrestling sources had no knowledge of an equity situation, and reps said that they've never been breached on that. Sports Business Journal informed that under the new deal that Warner Brothers Discovery would own a percentage of AEW, but both AEW and WBD are denying those reports. Dynamite and Collision will air in their normal time slots and days and also be streamed on the Max streaming service. This was an important factor for both sides. Dynamite, Collision, and Rampage replays will be the library of footage available on Max. That was also something that Variety didn't note, that the video library for those shows would be available on Max, and Sean Ross Sapp, WrestleVotes, and Andrew Zarian have confirmed that part. Pay-per-views will be added to Max for a discounted price to subscribers in 2025. Rampage will not be featured on WBD in 2025. AEW gets more money for less programming, so that is also a big deal for them, because that was something that we talked about after the Puck News report came out about 6 shows across multiple stations. ROH and True TV were not mentioned in the press material, so they aren't a part of this deal. And WBD had exclusivity over AEW broadcast content on television, but now they do not. They only have, there's also been various reports that Warner Bros. Discovery only has basically exclusivity for cable television with AEW programming, which alludes to the fact that the AEW current negotiation and talks with broadcast television seems to be the direction for the new AEW Shockwave show that they have trademarked. So, Jimmy, what was your reaction to this deal? The number is above even what we kind of placed it at, like 170 million is probably what Tony Khan was looking for. But we said it can be between like 170 million, 185 million. They hit the 185 million mark. What do you think about this deal for AEW, for whatever the Discovery? And what do you think? I think it is a really big wrestling. Like, wrestling is making more money than it's ever has before on television between the top 2 promotions.
Yeah. First of all, one lie in there. Warner Brothers and AEW didn't provide the $150 million number. That's a lie off the bat. It's the first lie I heard immediately right away. That's Warner Brothers trying to make this deal seem better than it is.
The 185 number, that's AEW coming back. Come on now. Come on, I don't, you can fool me. I know what time it is. But it's the same deal.
That doesn't seem like I won't front. That doesn't seem like a Warner Brothers deal. Like it's like, nah, it's 150 million. And Tony Khan was like, nah, nigga, I know what I said.
But it just sounds like the deal with and without factoring in the pay-per-view. I assume the discount on Max will be, how should I pay for Max? $17? Something like that. I assume it'd be
17.
Yeah, it'd be discounted from what that is. It's a good deal. It's better than the deal they reported for Puck, 170 for fucking 2 shows on 3 different networks. Ill. 150 for 2, that's a great deal. Pay-per-view, I mean, that is what it is. You're just kind of getting the front end of the money instead of waiting for 12 months. Yeah, I like this deal, particularly for AEW. I kind of feel the opposite of I felt on the 170 deal. 170 deal was like a win for Warner Brothers. This is a win for AEW.
I 100% agree with you. This is very good for them. We already have our good friend Big Man Dogs. He says, "Does that make Punk 500 million, Phil?" Well, with the option, they would get to, I think, at least 700 over 700 million with the 4th year. And then there's also Shockwave, and they're going to want to do, they're doing negotiations for that right now. So they are probably going to get, after, if they do make the deal for Shockwave, especially on broadcast television, they're going to hit that billion mark.
You think so, huh? There's a lot of assumptions you're making there. Feeling good, huh? Feeling good, huh? You feeling good? You feeling good? You'll get this 4th year. You already assumed he's getting the 4th year, number one. It's our option, not yours. Somebody assumes he's going to get the 4th year, and we're going to sign a deal with Shockwave. Excuse me. All right.
Willie the Dylan over here. Willie the Dylan Jones over here.
I don't know. I'm thoroughly curious about how this goes.
And we this is why y'all need to watch AEWramble. We legit said when that Punk news came out, we was like, they get rid of Rampage. That's what it sounded like. Get out of here.
Appreciate it. Yeah, 185. So what is that? That's 370. That's 740. Assuming all the years are the same. I mean, if they can hold on to this,
it's the average, because I think they make less than 185 million the first year of the deal, and then every year after that is a little bit above 185.
Somebody's got to explain to me why people fucking back in all these contracts. These contracts look worse and worse the longer it goes. The rating today, let me be positive. The rating today, if things go the way they've been, is not going to be the rating 3 years from now. Therefore, that number is going to look. I'm paying $200 million for fucking 500,000 people. This is a terrible idea. Whatever. We'll see.
Annika saying she haven't seen Anarchy 1 yet. So freaking excited. I think that's also a good thing that they're getting the tape library on Max, because they're like one of the few wrestling companies that you don't get the back library. Like WWE's been on that since WWE Network 10 years ago. ROH, even with Honor Club, before they were even purchased by Tony Khan, you had Honor Club that had their back library. TNA has their TNA Plus app, and they had before that the Impact Plus app for the last couple of years, where you had their back library, and then New Japan has had that. So they've really been the only kind of like top 4 company that doesn't have the tape library on any streaming service.
Well, I'm glad that's sorted for y'all. I'm not gonna watch.
You're lying. You know you're gonna watch whenever you're down. You're gonna watch Brody Lee beating Cody.
I don't really watch like old stuff. I mean, I watch like old stuff, but like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, yeah, not really interested. I love this. What do we hear about this Fox deal? That everybody seems so very confident about this. Outside of Swerve running his yap.
Yeah. Dave Meltzer reported that apparently they're still in talks with Fox, and they're aiming for a 1-hour show that should be live and it would be on either Tuesday or Thursday. It won't be on Friday or Monday because they don't want to go head-to-head with WWE, and it won't be on any of the days that they're usually on, Wednesday or Saturday.
A little frustrating. Well, I guess it's for the best.
I would, if I'm them, I would go on Tuesday. AEW was at its best when it was going head-to-head with NXT. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
I'm not mad at that. I will say this. I'm looking at these numbers. NXT did a, what, 895?
895, yep.
Nailed it. Almost nailed it. I said 900. And it's like a 40% jump from the last USA episode. SmackDown went down, I think, 25% over the last show on SmackDown. So assuming
it's basically like being on broadcast TV. It helps. You're gonna get that's at least like 200,000 viewers you're getting on broadcast TV instead of cable.
Yeah, but for an hour, your 200 million numbers is high. It's real high.
I didn't say 200 million. I think they can get.
You said a billion.
I'm saying overall in the deal, they can get like 200 million. If they sign like a similar 3 and an option and it's at 50 million.
No.
Hey,
what the fuck NXT get?
That's a discount.
What
NXT got, I think, wait, let me double check that. I know NXT got a grip.
I know it was ass last I saw.
No.
Because it's fucking
Let me see. Let me see what it was. All right. So it said no. This is about how much did the CW pay for NXT? Oh yeah, you're right. It was 20 to 25 million a year.
Yeah, well, I don't want the fucking wrestling thing, but
CW got the good deal. They got their ratings up. Oh man. Yeah, you might be on something.
Yeah, it's like you need us, we don't need you. So take what we give you. Sorry. Don't be rude. Love you, Sean McKell, but you'll get with the deal we give you.
McKell. And yeah, it's a 5-year deal, so that averages out to 125 mil over the deal.
Ew. That's a bad deal. I'm sorry. I assume Nick Khan has got some type of evil plan he's working here, but I'm just saying, looking at the deal, it looks bad.
When you make $5 billion on Netflix, it's like we just want to get on network television.
Fair enough.
Oh man, King Potato says 185 million a year. Joe's over here.
Whenever I see it on here, I laugh. But whenever I hear Taz, I just go, "Fuck you."
Yeah, that King Potato might be onto something. I think that the 150 number is probably the first year. Since they said the first year is below the 185 mil, that's probably the number they told Variety. Warner Brothers is like, it's just 150 mil a year. You know, that first year number, it's 150 mil. And Tony Khan was like, "Nah, I averaging 185 mil, man."
Call on big man dogs. They've been talking shit for like weeks. Where's Roosh? Frantic World and Louisville and the rest of you. You talking all that shit. Where's Roosh and where's Andrade? Let me hear it. Talking
Roosh was on Collision on Saturday. He got the new LFI with Beast Mortos and Julistica.
Absolutely. Good. He deserves it.
And I see that's the reason why Big Ben Dog said that. That's Frantic World wanted to be smart. He wanted to be slick. Annika says, well, SmackDown on Fox was cool. It's just that Khan wheeled and dealed for an unbelievable deal. Fox will get AEW probably for cheaper. I can see them getting that 20-25 mil. No. Now that we know that's the mark. Yeah. If that's after this deal.
But it's only an hour though.
Anything else is extra. Then they're
I'm telling
making.
you now.
Then they're gonna make, especially if it's a 5-year deal. Then they're making like if they can push and get another option year on the WBD deal after the 4th year, then they be at that $1 bill mark.
Mask a little off, but you know what? We're gonna give it to you. You're feeling good today.
I'm saying if you're getting 185 mil average for 4 or 5 years for WBD,
Not
like
4
I said,
or 5 for 4
you
years.
get another. No, but I'm saying you can get. They extended the option on the last deal.
This is not a what? We're gonna add numbers. Can we stick with the numbers we got? 185, 300 option. Can we stick with these numbers, please? These hypothetical years you're adding.
With 20 to 25 mil, 25 mil would get them at basically 200 million for the next 4 years.
What, 25 million?
If they get 20 to 25 mil from Fox.
No, that's 100 million for 4 years.
No, I'm talking about with the WBD deal where they're making 100.
Oh yeah, 25. Yeah, that's 210.
Yeah,
that's 840.
That's what I said. They're gonna get that
160 million short.
They're gonna get that 5th year from Fox.
Bernie Madoff math is this.
King Potato says Tony doing Snyder math on the new deal. Hey, he got him where he need to be. He got him to be willing to Dylan Jones over here. But yeah, like it's a great deal for them. It's a great deal for them. It's a great deal for AEW, and it's the factor of being on Max. I think it's a big, like I was telling you yesterday, I was like, I think that's a big deal because Max is a streaming service that a lot of people are going to purchase for like their kind of brand shows, like their Peacemakers, your Euphorias and stuff like that. And just seeing it on the option after you watch one of those shows, a new episode of AEW Dynamite or even the back library. Like say they have, I think they still have like a lot of the still have a majority of the HBO content that they had before. If you have if you're watching the Andre the Giant documentary on there, one of the first recommended options after you're done with that should be a AEW.
Yeah. Oh, that's gross. Now I think about it. Oh, whatever. That's how it works. Sorry, these companies are making me more and more sick. First, it was the CM Punk bracelet thing. And then it was the Penta and Ray Phoenix thing. I'm growing more and more sick by the fucking day. I hate these people so much. These are awful people. I don't care what anybody says.
You should have told your boy Conan to stop talking shit.
Absolutely. So we should force wrestlers into slavery because Conan was talking shit. Absolutely. This is fucking
Conan
insane.
should have been talking shit. Should have moved. Gangsters move in silence.
How many more billionaires can you stick up for? This is fucking.
I'm not sticking up for anybody. No, I told you. I said it on here on Saturday, and it wasn't an issue with us. It didn't come out until Friday that news came out. I think it's a lame and petty ass move, but I also understand it's business, and I wish that Conan didn't open his mouth.
I wish that fucking. That would be nice. This is ridiculous. This is insanity. When did Ray Phoenix get hurt? Was he mountain climbing?
How many times did he get hurt?
Was he mountain climbing? Was he running into fucking traffic? No. On the fucking job? Yeah. I did my fucking time. Hurt myself in your ring, you fucking cunt. And oh, this is gross. I'm sorry. Gross. It's gross. I'm sorry. I'm so annoyed. Shouldn't even be an option. Independent contractors. Absolutely. Criminal organizations around here. We're all sitting here cheering because fucking Vince and Nick Khan and Tony Khan could pay God knows how much money to get away with this shit. This is fucking egregious. Arm bent backwards under the table. What the fuck are we doing? Well, to be fair, you didn't wrestle. No. Fucking gross. Ugh.
We do have a super chat donation here from our good brother Will Chisholm. Great to see you back, Will Chisholm, with us. We appreciate you for joining us.
I'm not going to sit back and take this fucking shit.
I imagine that's Tony Khan as he's watching AEWramble. Will says MVP trying to give Swerve and Mercedes their black card back is wild. You could save them, Unc.
Talk to him. Talk to him, sir. I don't know what Mercedes did, but I still take a picture with Swerve. You on that side now. You over there now. You take a picture with Diddy. You with them now. I don't care what else you have to say. You with them. I don't know what she did. She did something. You over there. Nick fucking Frantic World acting like he's fucking Malcolm X or something. Enough of this. You push Uncle Ruckus, now all of a sudden you're the fighter for truth and justice. Get the fuck out of here. All right, stop. I'm just saying. Thank you, Chisholm. Fighting a good fight. Let him know. Let him know.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Annika saying, whoa, tell me something I don't. Why does Mercedes need her black card back?
Yeah, I don't know either. I'll still take a picture of it, though. That's all I need to know.
He was like, I don't care.
Sold.
I'm running with it.
Sold.
This son of a bitch. Ricky says, I hope Max streams are commercial free like Fight. I can see that. I think it will. I'm hoping it will. I'm hoping it's not what I expect Raw and Netflix to be.
Max has I think they have an ad-free option. So no, it will not be in commercial free. Sorry. It's now capitalism works.
Yeah, it is. It is true. We do have another super chat donation from Chuck Berries. We're seeing everybody back today. Everybody came back for the TV deal. Thank you, Chuck Berries. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Support. Fuck you. Bye.
He says, why is AEW doing Title Tuesday starting at 9 p.m. Eastern instead of 8 p.m. Eastern? Aren't they competing with NXT? I think it's because of the MLB playoffs.
That sounds right.
That's why they're moving days, but I think they're also going to probably have some MLB coverage on Tuesday, but those games are probably starting in the afternoon, and that's why they're starting at 9 p.m. That's my assumption.
Gotcha. I didn't even hear. They said Title Tuesday 100 times. I didn't hear it. I just assumed it was some goofy title they had that they always have. Fucking title, whatever the fuck. Whatever. Oh, okay. Fair enough.
They do need to slow. I think I'm good on any type of special episodes of Dynamite until like winter is coming, because this is like 3 weeks in a row of special editions of Dynamite with Grand Slam last week, then this week the 5-year anniversary, and then next week is Title Tuesday.
Yeah, it's like they used to do. Fucking Quake by the Lake and whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
Jesus.
and then I think this would also work better if there wasn't a pay-per-view on the Saturday after this.
There is that.
Like if this was the gap that we used to have back in like 2022 of All Out, and then we have a 2-month gap to Full Gear, then it's a little bit more understandable. But when you add a pay-per-view in October, it's not.
Yeah, it's egregious. Seen a lot of comics trying to grow. I didn't see Andrade and Rush in one of them yet. We'll keep going. I'll wait. I got an hour and a half.
He says, if I was Tony Khan, I would sign Vikingo, Sexy Star 2, and Los Taxas from AAA with the new money from the deal. No, really we can't just be being petty to be petty for petty's sake.
Yeah, I know who these are.
I know you know Vikingo.
Oh, that's one almost had the great match with Omega, then almost broke his fucking neck. Yeah, I remember Vikingo. Absolutely. Thank God he didn't break his neck, otherwise he'd owe Tony Khan money. Fucking insanity.
No, not money. Time.
Labor. Pardon me. It's labor. Get out into the field, you bum.
King Potato says NBA streams on Max were not commercial free, so I doubt it. I've never watched an NBA stream on Max, but that makes sense.
Yeah. Need that money.
King Potato says, Title Tuesday, where no titles will change hands. What's the difference between this and Battle of the Belts? people will watch. People will watch. That's the difference.
Yeah, it's a few more stars over fucking Battle of the Belts.
Yeah.
So that is not a main event, by the way. It's not a main event. That tag match is not a main event. Sorry.
Okay.
And a main event this week.
But we got a main event this week.
We did.
Moxley and John Moxley and Darby Allin last week. Does that count?
Yes, I've been very impressed with what we've been getting from these shows the last 3-4 weeks.
King Potato says, I missed the 4 pay-per-views a year, AEW, man. Yeah, they didn't need to increase it by like, what is it now? 10 pay-per-views a year? They should have just done it slowly of 4, then 6, then 8. We'd be at 8 right now in this year. Then with the new deal, you can go up to 10. But we've now been dealing with 2 years of 10. I think that's a little much. They should have went a little bit slower.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you.
You only have to you only had to watch like a few of these. You're still on 4 pay-per-views a year.
Yep, if that.
Well, we appreciate we've had them on 2 this year, guys. 2 pay-per-view reviews. We got Big Red Noise. He says my gut says Bachingo is part of Conan's part 3. I doubt it.
Conan needs to stop talking. It
Yes.
doesn't really affect you. I know you feel good about it. I understand, but it doesn't really. You're not affected one way or the other, so you should probably not say anything.
Well, he is kind of because he's their agent, apparently.
Oh my God, what kind of a mafia is he running down there?
Yep.
Go ahead, sir. Jesus. Ugh.
That's what I said. I was like you did as an agent. I think I watched too much. We both have watched too much Entourage. Where I'm like, Corey Gold wouldn't do this.
I can't imagine what he'd say in that fucking conference room after Tony Khan said he was keeping this motherfucker for longer. You tiny little cunt.
You fuck me. I'm gonna fuck you. Etika says, like, come on, give us Ray versus Ricochet and then set him free. Yeah, like I said, I think I said it on the True E Flasher podcast. I was like, and I said it to you. I was like, if you're gonna keep them, at least use. And I like the fact that Penta, I think, has handled. This is why I'm just putting all the blame on Conan, because last week when the report came out, I was putting it on both Conan and Penta. But I think Penta made the right move this week, where he once again went on an interview this time, and he was like, my president is AEW. I'm gonna be here a little bit longer, and while I'm here, I want to work. I think that's the right direction to go. And do your time, do your due diligence, and then you get the fuck up out of here.
Indeed, to TV. It was TV or radio. I meant radio.
I think it was a podcast or something like that.
On there said, "Eyes, sorry, boss. I'm sorry, El Bosso." And then he's hoping that's gonna get him off the hook. Sure. Good luck to you, sir. No, you're doing it right. You're doing the right move. You're doing the right move. The smart move at the very least, which is fucking do what you got to do. Keep your head down. You fucked up. Now do what you got to do, and just fucking work your way through it.
Yeah. And then he got to go back to El Jefe Conan, like, shh, boss. Shh. Stop talking with Disco and Inferno about me. Don't talk about it. They hear you. They listen to you.
I gotta watch one of those fucking podcasts. I'm so curious what Disco thinks about things.
He hates me,
but I'm curious about.
I think he's hated AEW since Cody came out and said that shit about him.
Yeah, that was on the rougher side. I mean, it wasn't wrong, but it's on the rougher side. God damn, you are wild.
Cody's a little bit more of a politician. We're not gonna get the same type of Cody we had in 2019 anymore.
Andrade, sir. Andrade. I ain't heard nothing yet. You was talking big shit. I ain't heard nothing yet. Not letting niggas off the hook. Nope.
Big Man Doug says Big Man Doug would be the one who listens to Disco and Conan. He says 50% of what Disco says is ex-wrestler throws a good punch.
Disco threw a good punch. I can't front. Disco threw a good punch.
Yeah. He modeled himself up for like Jeff Jarrett. They have some.
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett punch. Yeah, Jeff Jarrett, good punch. Brett, Undertaker.
Yeah.
Who else? Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, Jerry Lawler and Jeff Jarrett are very similar with the way they punch it. I call it the Memphis punch. The Memphis punch.
This weird kind of. I'm here for it. I love it.
All right, let's finally get into some AEW Dynamite 5-year anniversary. The show took place from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I would say, even though this was like half of the crowd from Grand Slam the previous week, it was a pretty full house. They had a bigger crowd than the last time they were in Pittsburgh for Collision last November. And I think it was about 4,700. It was to me, it was a more vocal crowd than even last week with over 8,000.
Yeah, definitely early on. They were very loud. Then they got tired. So fucking
They were there for Brit late into the show.
Yeah, Hollywood wore them out. Because he was gonna fuck with the rest of the card.
And yes, we will talk more about the AEW Warner Brothers Discovery Media Rights deal this Saturday, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. The True Hill Heat flagship podcast. Myself, Miss Chrissy Love, and the True Draw Josh will be talking about it. So join us live for that if you want to talk about it some more. But let's get into Dynamite 5-year anniversary. We had a cold open to the show with words from the BCC, the Blackpool Combat Club, as Pac says he knows Willa Yuta is not a zoo creature, someone to be paraded around, a fluffy, cute animal. You're a lion. Stop acting like you haven't chosen already. Claudio Castagnoli asks, what's the problem is? He says he's the same guy. So is Mox. This is still Yuta's home. They have big plans for him. Marina Shafir gets real close into the camera, speaking in Russian before Jon Moxley gets to the camera, and he says that he prayed every night for Bryan Danielson to not win the AEW world title. I thought this was a great first line. I was like, oh shit. But here we are. Mox will win that title one way or another. There will be casualties, but he's giving Danielson a chance to go out on his shield, on his home soil, and be buried in his backyard beautifully. Fate is not going to put a better offer on the table than that. At Wrestle Dream, he officially sends Daddy home for good and relieving him of his duty. This was a great promo. I love the style and the way it was shot. It felt very much like a 2024 version without the black and white of the NWO. Goddamn, why do these like freaking ambulances and cop cars come right to your house?
That'd be nice. I was trouble. This is great. Mox is great. NWO is an interesting choice. Yeah, about the aesthetics, we'll say. I like it. It feels very gritty. I usually hate as a word, but I like it here.
It was the different cuts for me. The different cuts to different people is very much like how NWO used to film there. Without the black and white aesthetics, it felt very much like NWO in that style.
Yeah. I think
Moldovan, not Russian. I'm sorry. I apologize, Marina. Meet Normus, thank you. Appreciate you.
All right. I remember you. Meet Normus is a wild name. Can't forget that shit. Yeah, this was really good. I thought she was good too. She was menacing at the very least.
Yeah. And Big Man Dog says, I was gonna say it sounded more Russian than Romanian. There are people who speak both in Moldova. So there you go. Maybe each to each its own. But yeah, it made her come off like a badass. That's all I know.
Indeed. Moxie definitely
it kind of like from that promo, I'm like, yeah, that kind of does seem like the perfect ending that even Bryan Danielson would want.
Yeah, let me take a search of it in the year, right? So.
Yeah. Have Moxley be the one to put him away. Then I think the long term is Moxley wins, and then Darby is the one that beats Moxley. But when do you pull the trigger on that?
When's pay-per-view? October what?
October 12th. It's next Saturday.
If Shane comes in, I'd say June. If not, fucking March.
Yeah, I was gonna say Revolution would be appropriate because that's 1 year from. I know you hate when I say that's 1 year from something, but it's 1 year from Sting's retirement.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool. It would have been cool, but he already came back to do something, so less cool.
Hey, it was Wembley Stadium, man.
Came back to fucking do nothing. Oh,
But I do agree with you because you said June. I would think that you want that big moment to be at the biggest show of the year, and July is all in Texas.
I'll be nice. Sure, that's fine. Biggest show of the year. You sure? You sure there's gonna be 12
All in
people in the
Texas.
building?
It's a 40,000 seat stadium.
I'm asking. Yeah, it's in Texas for AEW. How big is that arena?
We've always
I'm
been on here saying
sorry.
Texas loves AEW.
I know. I'm on here saying they're loud. That's all I care about. I don't say it's a lot of people in that building. They're loud. Slave State's always
So
loud. I appreciate it.
how many do you think is gonna realistically? How many?
I have to see the pre. What, did they do the pre thing yet?
No.
I gotta do the pre. They gotta do the pre thing first. I'll give you a number.
Now this guy saying 12.
I can't more than 20 people. How's that? I mean, more than 20 people. Less than 40,000, more than 20.
Here. We got another super chat donation. Thank you, Meet Normus. We appreciate the support, the love you give us in the chat. Thanks for joining us today. And
why you so crazy? Take it easy. Take it easy.
Meet Norman says Yuta/BCC are setting up a trap for Danielson. Commentary mentioned Claudio never put hands on Wheeler. And yeah, I was going to wait till we got to the main event to talk about it. But since you're sending a super chat donation, got to talk about it now. Yeah, it does seem like Wheeler, like the whole thing with Wheeler not using the hammer on anybody. He brought out the hammer and then he didn't use it on Moxley with Moxley standing right in front of him. I was just like, I thought he was going to turn last night.
Same. I'm like, these three motherfuckers just run away from Wheeler Yuta? I don't care if he has a hammer or not. A Wheeler Yuta? Stop it. They didn't want to fuck him up because Wheeler's not going to try to fuck them up. They're working everybody. This nigga's a turncoat. I'm so annoyed. Not well.
Hey,
never get my dream of the actual BCC. Whatever. Fine.
Hey, maybe they recruit more. Maybe they recruit more. You never know.
Couldn't even keep Yuta. Why I want to hang out with you? Couldn't beat Okada. Couldn't beat Swerve. You can't keep Yuta. Fuck, I'm hanging out with this old ass nigga for. Get out of here.
Oh, thank you, Meet Norris, once again for the super chat donation. King Potato says Yuta was 100% turning on Danielson. I thought he was going to do it last night with that hammer in his hand. Yeah, we're all on the same page here.
Great.
Excalibur welcomes us to the show alongside Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness, who is filling in for Taz, which will be notified about momentarily. Kyle Fletcher was helping out Will Ospreay preparing for the opening matchup when Don Callis and Konosuke Takeshita approached, wanting to talk about last week. Ospreay says that he has a match to have right now, so they'll talk later. And Callis says, yeah, they'll talk later. Him and Kyle actually have to go. They have to catch a flight. And Ospreay seemed surprised by this, and then you had Takeshita smirking at Ospreay as he went off to make his entrance.
I've really liked the way this show has been formatted so far, like Nitro-esque. I'm a fan. Whatever. Sure. Why did Kyle Fletcher need to be here at all? Outside of the obvious. But enough. I'm
standing next to him.
Come on. But this is fine. This is good. This is good even.
Yeah. I like it as a follow-up from last week's tag team match. But yes, the opening matchup was for the International Championship. Ricochet challenging Will Ospreay for the title. This was pretty much exactly what the crowd wanted, what we expected from this matchup, but it really served as a preview of what they could do in the long run. The two men started off, the bell rang, and we got holy shit and this is awesome chant. They had a fast series of takedowns, kip-ups, and flips out of moves, pin attempts, leading to a wild sequence of counters similar to their Best of Super Junior stalemate that ended in the double Spider-Man pose with the crowd going wild.
Fucking heinous.
Both started trading chops on one another until Ricochet caught Ospreay with a leapfrog into a twisting backbreaker, sending Ospreay where he met him with a tope right into the barricade. Ospreay leaped over the barricade when Ricochet threw him towards there, but Ricochet catches him on the barricade and hits a Hurricane Rana to the floor. I love the story of the matchup was that Will was trying to be more of his new style and not similar to his old style, while Ricochet was very much trying to be the old Ricochet, using his quickness, using his high-flying ability. We get a stalling senton back inside the ring from Ricochet, but Ospreay fought back with a handspring corkscrew kick. Pip Cheerio connects for a near fall. Ricochet fires back with a series of wild lariats, turning Ospreay inside out. Both exchange wall walk insecurities, and then we get a standing Spanish fly by Ospreay for a 2. An attempted Os cutter sent Ospreay to the apron, but after Ricochet followed him out, he gets caught with a hook kick, and Ospreay hits the Os cutter on the apron. Back from break, both men fought up the ropes where Ricochet tried for a super Hurricane Rana, but Ospreay landed right on his feet. That was one of the best times he's done it, where he stuck the landing beautifully. And then you see this wide shot of the crowd going wild. That was a nice little shot that they got by the cameraman. Ricochet responded with an Os cutter of his own as Ospreay flipped over Ricochet, who fired off a thrust kick and followed through with a 450. Hidden Blade was countered into Ricochet. I've never seen this before. He hit like a backslide bomb, not a backslide pin, but a backslide where he just drove him into the mat. Then he hits a nasty twisting power driver. And I said it before, Ospreay takes the power driver like he just wants to land on his head, and it always looks like he injured his neck. Ricochet tried to follow up with the vertical, but Ospreay was able to reverse. He instead opts for the Northern Lights locomotion. Ospreay counters with a Stun Dog Millionaire. Hidden Blade is countered again into a snap Hurricane Rana pin, but Ospreay rolls through and hits a Styles Clash for a 2. He finally hits the Os cutter, but Ricochet is able to kick out. Ricochet ducks the Hidden Blade again and connects with one of his own before going to the top rope for a shooting star press for a very close near fall. Pump kick drives Ospreay's head into the mat. He floats over the vertical, and Ospreay hits a Poison Rana, but Ricochet no-sells it and hits one of his own. Ospreay responds with a goddamn Hidden Blade, falling right on top of Ricochet with both men's shoulders being down. Referee Rick Knock counts both men out 1, 2, 3, and it's a draw. Big boos from the crowd as they didn't want the match to end this way. Both men were down on the mat. Both men got their bearings and wanted to keep going. So Justin Roberts informs the crowd that AEW president and babyface extraordinaire Tony Khan has decided to continue the matchup. The bell sounds and both men just start slugging it out with forearms and high kicks. We get Ospreay is about to hit the Hidden Blade on Ricochet when out of nowhere comes Konosuke Takeshita, hits the ring to cause a DQ. Massive boost for that one. A freaking asshole chance for Takeshita. I think this is the most heat Takeshita has even got, even more than when he turned on the Elite and Kenny Omega. Takeshita took out Ospreay with the power drive knee, and then he followed up with Ricochet hitting the world-class forearm, and then the Raging Fire Falcon Arrow. He then got the AEW International title and held it high before placing it between Ricochet and Ospreay. And then it was announced after the show that it will be a 3-way matchup. Will Ospreay defending the International Championship against Konosuke Takeshita and Ricochet next Saturday, AEW Wrestle Dream. That should be an absolute barn burner as well. I thought this was a really fun matchup for the time that we got. I just have my issues with doing both of these finishes that got heat. I think one would have worked, or even if it was like something like a double count, I don't know. But I don't know why you do the double pin and then the DQ so fast afterwards. Like, at least if you're gonna do these two finishes together, at least have some separation. Give us like 5 more minutes of them wrestling before Takeshita comes in for the DQ, or just do the DQ with Takeshita. Either one or the other.
The finish was what it was. It was different, at the very least. Was it good? I can't go that far. I don't much care about DQ because the whole point of wrestling match is to find out who's better. And we saw who's better. It's Ospreay, twice, apparently. Ospreay had the match won twice. He likes his friend, but not that fucking much. I'm going to first beat you once, and then we're going to restart the match, and I'll beat you again. And then we'll do why? Wait, what? Whose idea is this? This makes no sense.
His shoulders were down. He didn't beat him.
Right. Why was his shoulders down? Why was that on top of you?
Because he couldn't keep up with the pace that Ricochet was doing.
This is wild. I'm trying to protect this fucking mid-carder. Listen, I get he's your friend, but enough. Enough, sir. You can embrace Hollywood. You can't save everybody. Match was fine. Fun, even. Let me ask you something. If somebody was to body slam somebody in the middle of the ring and then pin them, would you get excited for a near fall? I wouldn't, because I know this is not going to end the fucking match. I know this Styles Clash is not going to end this fucking match. I know this Oz Cutter is not going to end this fucking match. You're not tricking me anymore. First 2 times I fell for it. Now we're 100 times in. I'm not falling for the okie doke. I like Ospreay. I feel nothing for any of these spots anymore. I know they're not ending the match. They never do. Why are we pretending? We know what's going to end this match. Either that fucking, what's he call it? The twirling shit he does, he lifts on the shoulder and he twirls off. What is that?
Stormbreaker.
Or the
he got 3. He got 3 ways to finish it: Stormbreaker, Tiger Driver,
and the elbow.
Or Hidden Blade.
Listen, if it's not them, it's not ending it. I don't buy any of these near falls. I'm sorry, I just don't. It's my least favorite thing in the fucking world. And pretending like him and Ricochet.
You hate near falls?
I hate pretend near falls. Near falls are good when it's Dragon, early Dragon in AEW. He's gone away from that recently. Dragon or Gunther. Everybody else, The Rock hits a DDT and covers somebody. This is not the end of the fucking match. You're not fooling me. You're not fooling me. This is not the end. Stop it.
Roman can't get a near fall with a Superman punch?
No, he cannot. No, you can't. I know this was not the end. Would you stop it? Would you stop it? Enough. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying don't come to me and tell me this is the greatest thing you ever saw when it wasn't.
He's won with the Oz Cutter in the AEW.
Who was this?
In the Casino Gauntlet match.
Against who?
Against Orange Cassidy.
No. Doesn't qualify. No. I know. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, it did feel like bad. Like just bad. It's hard to explain.
I liked, actually, if I'm gonna pick one of the finishes, that's why I said just do the Takeshita DQ, because it was basically the first reaction was, oh man, you're taking away the thing that we really wanted. And that was like booing the company more than booing the company or the referee for counting to 1, 2, 3. And then you get the, oh, you are getting what you wanted. So that's why you got the big pop for the restart. And then you didn't even let the match go. It was like 30 seconds and then Takeshita came out. So I was like, you either do that because the Takeshita one got the appropriate reaction. We're not booing the company. We're booing this asshole for taking the thing that we wanted away. That's the correct type of where you're getting a heat on a wrestler that makes them more of a heel.
Okay. Does Takeshita win this belt at the pay-per-view?
I'm assuming, because I feel like this is a change in direction, because it seemed like we were getting Takeshita in Okada for the Continental Championship. But I think that they did that to basically, that's going to play into Takeshita being in the Continental Classic. So I think that is the time when Takeshita is going to finally win the big one in a championship. So I'm thinking at Wrestle Dream, it's Ospreay retaining.
Pinning Takeshita. Ain't this a bitch? I'm not going to pin his friend.
Takeshita can't get a near fall on a Blue Thunder Bomb?
No. When's the last time he won with that? Has he ever won with that? No,
That's
stop it. No.
Yeah, it's on
No.
Rampage. Rampage.
Some bum we beat. Who'd he beat?
I forget who it was, but it was last year. It wasn't even this year.
Come on, man.
Oh man. Big Man Doug saying Gunther can win with like 8 moves, so has near falls are exciting. That's true.
Yeah, him, Dragon, when he first came in, he won with like 5 different moves in his first 5 matches before the Omega match. I mean, before the big title match. And now it's just like,
I still think Dragon's good at near falls in general, whether he's taking it or whether he's hitting a move and getting near falls. I still think he's good at that.
With what? The knee. That's it. Only near fall you buy. So hit somebody with that fucking knee. You go, oh, that's it. And it's not.
Well, the submissions, he does near submissions because he has multiple submissions he can finish people off with.
That's true.
Yeah. Triangle choke, the label lock, the Clarky cat, which he tried to put on Okada, which we'll talk about in a bit here. We also got Power Driver Finisher says, I agree, they did a bunch of signatures and covers.
A bunch of fucking, I'm sorry. This is for the nerds who saw the first one. All right. Hey, remember the first one?
Hey, I thought it was a really fun match, a really nice
fun
preview. Really fun.
Really fun. That's an interesting way to put it. Sure. It was really fun.
What, really good? It was a really good match. Really good.
What's about that girl? Really nice person. Really nice. She's
I didn't say all that. This guy
she's,
trying to misconstrue.
Hell of a personality. Right. You don't like her. Got it.
Misconstruing my words, but
she's ugly.
I'm not going to stand for that. I'm not going to stand for that, sir. I'm not going to stand for that. That's not what I said. But we go backstage to Renee Paquette, who is with the TBS champion, NJPW Strong Women's champion, Mercedes Moné, and Camille, who didn't get that big of a reaction from the crowd when she did her CEO line. Moné said that she had the truck put together a highlight package of Dynamite's best moments. And it was, in fact, all of Mercedes Moné's moments that she debuted in March. Moné says that it's all about her. AEW's future is so bright because money changes everything. In came the newest member of the AEW roster, MVP, and he's got a business card. He says that he's giving her a card because he's really into that big business and he wants her to give him a call. Mercedes looks at the card and she didn't look pleased to get interrupted, but she did look intrigued by the card.
How can he fucking say nah, shucks and jives and then not say the same thing to Mercedes? Who all she dances and gets chants. What kind of fucking half-ass thing are we doing here? Sorry.
CEO.
Ew.
What do you think about MVP possibly recruiting Mercedes Moné into the Hurt Syndicate?
Too late to save this fucking signing, but could save the rest of us from having to hear her talk. That's a win. Really? Out of the big 3 they signed, who's been the most disappointing, sir? And by a mile. We know it's not Ospreay, who has overperformed this contract. So at least Okada and Mercedes. Who you got?
Okada has met his contract because I love him. I love him.
God. He says, "Bitch, I love him. We're not doing
I love him being the new age Kevin Nash. I love him. Love him for it.
Okay. So, finish your thought. I apologize for interrupting. Go ahead.
No, you always interrupt me, so I'm just gonna move on. We got Power.
She's been a flop. Can we acknowledge this? She's one of the only made people in this company. It's like 5 in this company, and she's been a flop. How do you flop as a made person? It's impossible, and she has somehow. It's fucking embarrassing.
Annika says, very surprised they didn't put in the package of her beating Brit. I know they didn't like the match, but at least get the heat in Pittsburgh. No, she was only showing Dynamite highlights, strictly Dynamite highlights. So that's the reason But yes, we got a bunch of highlights throughout this show of different people and different moments in AEW history. At this point of the show, they showed the Guns winning the tag team championships before Renee Paquette went backstage to Austin and Colton Gunn, who were talking about Juice Robinson having a big match against Hangman Adam Page. And I love how this was shot as well, where you saw Hangman pulling up on these niggas with a steel chair, and then he blasts Austin Gunn in the back of the head with the edge of the chair.
Does he? His hand is right there.
Colton Gunn tries to fight him, and Hangman just tosses him through a door. That was great stuff. I love the sell that Colton did and Hangman's delivery on throwing him through the door. This was nice for Hangman to make it one-on-one with Juice Robinson, or so he thought. Any thoughts?
Nope. We got it. Hangman's unhinged. We get it. All right. Do
Best
something.
Character. We got highlights of Chris Jericho versus Tomohiro Ishii, where Jericho's chest was bleeding on Thanksgiving Eve in 2022. And then that led into Chris Jericho and TV time with the Learning Tree. Big Bill says that it's not about the destination, it's about who we become as people along the way. In the last 1,825 days, they've all become better people due to Chris Jericho, who makes his entrance with Brian Keith. Jericho congratulates fans for 5 years of Dynamite and the new deal AEW signed, making a lot of experts look like real idiots. This would have worked more if it was a babyface saying it. There wouldn't be an AEW today if there weren't a Chris Jericho. Keith got the crowd to chant "Thank you, Chris," which they actually did, because I don't know, Pittsburgh, not the brightest. Jericho says that this is not only the 5th anniversary for AEW Dynamite, it's the 34th anniversary for his pro wrestling debut. He's taken so many into his Jericho vortex, and he brings up beating Mark Briscoe last week on Collision Grand Slam. A new era is upon us, and the Ocho is gone. It's time for the Nueve. So he's challenging Mark Briscoe to a Ring of Honor World Title match at Wrestle Dream. No problem. Mark Briscoe walks out with the conglomeration to answer him, and he tells his conglomeration brethren to stand down. So does Jericho with Big Bill and Brian Keith. And Briscoe gets into the ring and says Papa Briscoe taught him to be a man who doesn't make excuses. He could do that after last week having Jericho beat like fried chicken, whatever that means, but only because of Big Bill choke slamming him through a table was he allowed to get the victory and to roll on top to get the pin on him. Briscoe won't make that excuse. It was a tornado tag. It was legal. Briscoe puts over Jericho on his 34th anniversary, calling him one of the finest professional wrestlers on the planet. Briscoe would love to put that notch on his belt, as the word of the day is consequential. And consequentially speaking, he'll put his head on his wall. Jericho cuts him off at that point and says that Mark can't beat him. He doesn't think he could. But maybe his brother could. Everybody knows Mark will never be as good as Jay was. Mark looks absolutely pissed, and it leads to him waffling Jericho in the face. He tells Jericho if Jericho wanted to go there, and he tells him that Jericho better keep his brother's name out of his mouth. He accepts the challenge, telling him that that punch right there was consequential. This was a decent little segment to start the proper build for a Mark Briscoe versus Chris Jericho matchup for Wrestle Dream. But I don't think the Jay Briscoe line was necessary for this feud. I don't know if this is the feud that you use that here. In retrospect, I think that this was decent in a vacuum, but was it necessary to use Jay's name for this feud? I don't think so.
I don't even think it was that big of a deal. He did insult his brother. It's not like saying your father's dead. Saying your brother's better than you. I don't want to keep your name out your mouth. I said he was great. What's the issue? What's the holdup? I'm so confused by all of this. This was fine. By Jericho standards, this was great. By Jericho 2024 standards, this was great. But this was fine. I want to say painless, but not really. I could have done without it. So what's less than fine? Subpar? Mediocre? Mid? Let's go mediocre. I like mediocre. It's just mediocre. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's also an ROH title nobody cares about. Hence the complete silence when it was announced to WrestleMania. Mark Briscoe versus Chris Jericho is not a world beater. I'm sorry. It just is not.
I can understand if like Mark believes this is like the biggest feud, biggest match that he can have, because Jericho is a big name. He's a legendary name. But Jericho right now is probably the lowest he's ever been. And yes, I am including mid 2000s Chris Jericho before he came up with the list.
Yes. It's kind of hard to watch, to be honest. I've never been like saddened to see Chris Jericho on the screen before coming up next. And it's like, oh my god, every time now.
Yeah,
it's over.
It's sad. Like literally, I feel I was like, I don't think I was even as down as I was just last year with Chris Jericho as I am right now. I'm apathetic because I thought that he found something with this whole gimmick, and then the gimmick got old after like a month.
I mean, he wrote it hard as fuck.
Yeah.
He's out of everybody in wrestling, period. He's the one who could do for break the most and the longest. I would say like a year feels egregious, but I think it has to be that long. Let's be excited when he comes back. Sorry.
He needs to go for a long time.
Please.
Please. He might be objectively, now that Awesome Truth broke up, he might be objectively the worst act in wrestling.
Awesome Truth was heinous.
It was heinous. It was the worst act in wrestling. Yes, it was the worst act. Wait. He might have the silver medal because we still have Pure Fusion Collective. Even though I like all three of those people, but I've never seen a name bury a group more than this.
You say that. I don't care what they're called. No disrespect. No disrespect to any of them. I've never been excited when they're on my TV screen. Unless they were standing next to Trish Stratus. That's different. That's Trish. That's something else. Jericho's actively bad. They are just nothing. I don't want to be rude. It's just there. Jesus. The fuck?
He was like, Jericho's bad, but they're boring.
Why are we trying to make this work? I don't understand. Is Stark one of his girls? Zoe Stark?
She's NXT, yeah.
Because he's just like, he won't let this go. You've tried everything. You've tried everything, sir.
Shayna's one of his girls, for sure.
Definitely. You don't have to feel bad. Like, I know you feel bad. But once you've done everything, right? Don't you feel a little better like, okay, I've tried everything I can. I can put a bullet in her. And I won't feel anything. I did my part. Face, heel, Trish, singles, group. I've done all of it. And none of it's worked. Bullet time.
Yeah. Jericho definitely got my like most overrated for 2024.
Overrated? By whom?
By Tony, no, it's not like overrated is a word. It's not just like, oh, these are who the fans overrate. Sometimes this is who the company is overrating. And I really feel like Tony Khan and this company's creative is overrating the fact that they have to put Chris Jericho on TV every fucking week. Like last week, I gave one of our highest scorers of the year because no Jericho. That bumped it up by like a point from me.
I don't know. One person rating you doesn't count for me. I need more than one person to rate you. And nobody rates Chris Jericho except Tony Khan. Always certainly over featured.
That might be the most important person.
Most over featured. Not most over featured though. That would be rude because I get the point. Judgment Day is the most over featured. Sorry, it's over. Let it go. Give it a shot. Let it go.
Man, this nigga Finn ain't gonna win on Saturday. This is ridiculous.
Oh.
This is ridiculous.
I'm sorry. This feud is my least favorite thing in not the feud itself, but the way it's been booked. My least favorite way of booking wrestling. No, it's just this straight line of things. Nobody adjusts. Nobody does anything. Finn didn't bring any help. He just takes the loss week after week like an idiot, and then he's gonna be shocked when he loses on Sunday or Saturday, whatever it fucking is. Oh, I hate it.
I feel like the worst thing that could have happened to this feud was the first couple of weeks where they did like attitude era style kind of thing of they're getting beat down, make the save, big moment, make the save, boom, boom, boom. And then they just been trying to do it for the last 2 months the same way. And it's just like, no, you got to do other stuff to make us intrigued. That's why the bloodline got over, because 1 week they would have Sammy, they had the honorary Uso moment. And the next week it would be Sammy trying to help the Usos, but the Jey Uso was against him. Then the next week after that, it's Sammy gets a win and he's impressing Solo Sikoa. And he's impressing Jimmy Uso to be on his side, but still Jay is hating. And then the next week it would be, he lost because of Jey Uso. Like, that is how you build, because you're doing something different every week, not just match and then just do the same angle that worked 2 months ago.
That bloodline stuff, you can't put them out of order. These things happen because that thing happened last week, and this happened because the thing happened the week before that. If you put all this fucking judging this shit in different order, you wouldn't even know the difference. You'd be like, I think that's how it happened. Yeah, because who cares? I'm sorry. No more rants. At least not about WWE.
We didn't do it at the start of the show because we had important AEW news to talk about, so we had to get it out the way here. And no, Karrion Kross has gotten off that list because they kept Karrion Kross to talking.
He is a great talker. He just comes across like scumbag. Like,
yes, scumbag manipulator. Karrion Kross is the best Karrion Kross.
Yeah. One thing I try to make it seem like he's the one that turned Miz. Like he's got some type of like devil on your shoulder superpowers. I'll be mad at it.
Yeah. Romeo on a Rated Raw review, he talked about the people that he's feuded with and what's happened to them, and it is a crazy list because he worked with Drew McIntyre. Drew went on to lose in his home country and turned heel. He worked with AJ Styles. AJ Styles turned heel and left for a while. He worked with Shinsuke Nakamura. He went and turned heel, and now he's gone for a while. He worked with Bobby Lashley. He's completely gone from the company. He's a fucking cancer that if you go in his vicinity, you either turn into a toxic person or you're gone.
Oh my God. All right, new story, because that's brilliant on Romeo's part. Fucking Finn brings him into the Judgment Day because he needs help with Priest. And this leads to the destruction of Judgment Day. That's my new goal. That's my new goal. He brings it across, and all of a sudden all these bums just leave him.
The only person he told me that didn't like turn into a toxic person or leave the company was Ray. He worked with Ray, but the people that Ray was with turned toxic and turned on him. And Santos Escobar.
I'm here for fucking supernatural shit when it's not over the top with the White Six.
Yeah,
sorry.
But speaking of sometimes spooky people, but this was probably the most grounded and serious Darby Allin promo in quite some time. We went to Darby Allin hanging out in what looked like a car garage, a car dump or whatever, and he's sitting on the hood of a car saying that when he was 19 years old, he used to ride a bus in his hometown of Washington or home state of Washington, daydreaming. But one night he was hit in the head with something, and when he turned around, guys were laughing at him. Allin realized that those guys were taking turns spitting at him. After doing nothing for a while, he finally went to do something when one of the guys pulled out a switchblade, asking him what he was going to do about it. Allin said, well, it looked like he's going to get stabbed tonight, and started fighting the guy. He says that he viewed Jon Moxley as one of those guys. As last week, you live by the sword and you die by the sword. He says Wrestle Dream was supposed to be his dream match, facing Bryan Danielson in their home state of Washington, but it wasn't meant to be. People say he's the future of this company, but he really feels like he's losing faith in them, and they're losing faith in him, and he's losing faith in himself. Allin says, well, he doesn't care because he will be at the Tacoma Dome in Tacoma, Washington, and he issues an open challenge. He says anyone that wants to build their name off of Darby Allin's, bring it, as he's got nothing left to lose. This was one of my favorite in recent memories, like redemption or get your heat back promos from a babyface. He's a very flawed babyface because he cannot step down from a challenge. He cannot step down from a bully. What the bullies say, it does get to him, but it only makes him want to fight them even more. And despite Jon Moxley manipulating him and convincing him that Bryan Danielson wasn't going to fight him at Grand Slam, he put his title shot on the line, but he made sense of it within this promo because, like I said earlier, him saying that he fought a guy with a fucking knife, it was just like, I get you 100%. I understand you so much. And I dig flawed baby faces like that.
This is great. Unlike that other friend of ours, that other pillar, Darby is not only good on pre-tapes, he's pretty good live too. But this was fucking great pre-tape. He was fantastic here. All right, fucking tap. This is a great promo. I loved every part of this. This felt objective. This might be the best part of the show for me now that I think about it. This was objectively fucking great. Top 5 active? You have to be active is the question.
Yeah, maybe he means active because if Eddie's not active, then yeah, some people have to move up the list.
Yeah. All right, so we're taking out Eddie, we're taking out MJF.
But you got Switchblade back. I think Switchblade is in the top 5 for me.
Moxley.
Dragon.
Boy.
Dragon's up there.
Dragon. Moxley, Dragon.
MJF. He's kind of active.
He's active?
He's filming a movie. He's still active.
Oh, well, looks like filming a movie. You're over there. Moxley, Dragon. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, they don't have a lot of promo guys. Holy shit. Moxley,
Hangman's
Dragon?
up there for me.
Let's not get crazy.
Come on, the Burning House promo. I'm sorry.
It was a good promo.
That was a fantastic promo.
Fantastic, absolutely. I got him confused.
Hangman, my top 5 would be if you're just doing active, if you're filming a movie or you're injured, you're not in the list. It would be Moxley, Dragon, Hangman, Jay White, and I think Darby could get in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna Moxley, Dragon, Jay.
Oh no. Willow, and then Darby's fighting to get in that 5th spot.
I like Ospreay too. Osprey's great.
Oh yeah, Ospreay's in my top 5. Yeah, I put Moxley at number 1 right now because he's motivated and he's got a character that works right now, and he's been hitting it out the park since coming back. Then Dragon, then Will, Switchblade, Hangman, Willow 6, and Darby 7.
That's a good list. I'm gonna switch Hangman and Willow. Yeah, Darby's top 10. Top 10, top 8.
That's fair. That is fair.
Nobody wants to put Ricochet on this list. Nobody wants to put Mercedes on this list. I don't see anybody from the Elite on here. Oh, well. What do I know? Never mind.
Hey, Hangman is a Elite graduate. Meat Norman says Junkyard Darby. We also got Big Man Dogs. He says, "You don't die by the sword, just go home. Like, just stay on the bus and go home, nigga."
Absolutely. MVP's
Move
good,
away,
but let's
move
not
away
do it.
from these gross people who are spitting at you.
MVP? I like MVP.
I like MVP, but I haven't gotten it. I got like months and months and months of material with the people that I named.
Indeed.
He's got to earn his stripes. Oh, one thing I do want to mention, because we probably won't get another chance to mention it. I just remembered it now, because we sometimes go back and forth as far as our top 10 workers or top 10 in-ring performers in the world. And the guy that you usually would have in the top 10 is going to be out for 6 to 9 months. Ilya Dragunov. What's your thoughts?
It hurts. It hurts a lot. I felt like he was gonna have a thing with Judgment Day, which I would have liked. It's more Finn's fucking level at this point. No disrespect. I think that also explains the Braun thing, quite frankly. That fucking face turn he gave us on Raw came out the fucking blues.
Yeah, that's 100%. Ilya's gone. We need a new babyface.
So it hurts. I don't think he's over enough to really benefit from being out. Like, let's say if I think a babyface would get injured right now. If LA Knight got injured right now, that must not have hurt him. It might help him actually. He come back to a huge pop. Yeah. I don't think Ilya's there yet. But he'll be fine. He's super talented. So I have no doubt he'll be ready to go. It just hurts. Anytime you get something going and then you get fucked, that stings.
It does. It definitely does. It really sucks. And I wanted, it looked like they were kind of getting him back into like the swing of things with the whole teasing of him feuding with the Judgment Day. And then a freak injury happens. Yeah.
That's just big. That'd be a big spot for him too.
Yeah. Big Man Dawes says, yeah, Ilya isn't over enough to get a big pop, unfortunately, because they didn't make him over. I don't know why. I don't know why they were they were hesitant to put their foot on when you got one of the top 10 workers in the fucking world.
Who cares about that? Space. Only y'all care about that. Top 10 workers, and what cares? What did that do? What did that do? Oh, you're not in the top 40. You're not gonna push him? You're not gonna push him?
Well, I did want to tell you also, because we're doing top fives right now. I did Romeo asked me who's the top 5 biggest baby faces in WWE. You want to hear my list?
Yes, please.
Cody, Roman, Seth, Jey Uso, LA Knight.
It's a very interesting list. There's a pretty big omission, but like I said last week,
it's
going to be 50-50. I said it's going to be objective. My man SP3 is going to give you 95% of the time. It's going to be objective.
I'll take out Seth and I'll put in Punk if you want.
Unless the Bucks are involved, unless CM Punk is involved, unless Triple H is involved, The Rock, then it's 50-50. 50-50 objectivity is going to happen. But yeah, I like that list. Jay is jarringly over. I don't understand. I don't get it even a little bit, but he is jarringly over.
And this is only males. This is males. Their biggest babyface males. That's what I was doing. And
gotcha.
Rhea's she's number one, obviously, when it comes to the women. And then there's actually a really, 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 let me add like times 15 reallys gap between everybody else and Rhea Ripley as far as baby faces on the women's side.
Probably Bianca after that. That's a pretty big gap at this point. Okay. Yeah, I like that list. Cody can hold to the spot for now. It won't last much longer. Sorry.
Macho Man in 1988. I keep saying.
Run.
My good friend Robert D. Felice said, no, it's more like Bret Hart in 94. I was like, no, Bret didn't have anybody that's right there. Like right there. Like he didn't have a Hulk Hogan right there. A Stone Cold right there.
Cough that up. I'm gonna need that back, buddy. I got a quote for you, by the way. I want you to tell me who's talking and who they're talking about. Honestly, I was a little disappointed and didn't feel like there was too much new for me. I'll say this. As I watched, I couldn't believe they got to work for him. What a crazy genius he is. How he really elevated wrestling to a whole stratosphere. He created a universe of fans that have enjoyed for decades and still do. He made wrestling larger than life.
Wait, you said who said it and who they're talking about?
Yeah. Talking about shit
I think
is easier than who said it.
I actually would need to get who they're talking. One or the other. I need to get who they're talking about, and then I can probably figure out who said it or who said it, and I know who they're talking about.
They're talking about Vince.
Hulk Hogan.
Nope. I get one more shot at it.
Are they related to it?
No.
Vince McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
The Undertaker or The Rock?
I can tell by the way you guys are talking that you don't like this quote at all, and you find it egregious. You would think it's like an older person talking about the guy that made them. Understood. Mercedes.
Wow.
Yeah. Just now. I don't know what the fuck she was thinking about, but yes, that's a quote.
That was in the Money Mag? The Mone Mag?
I don't know. Somebody sent it to me now. Yeah.
Who? Cash? Cash sent it to you?
Oh no, Cash fucking lost that. That's not how she lost her black card. Hey.
Like, oh, that's how she understood. She understood.
Yeah. Stone Cold Les. No.
He was like, he only got one stupid thing to say a year, and he already said it.
Thank God. Yeah, she told she needs a manager to talk for her. She needs a publicist. What the fuck?
Oh, all right, let's move on to.
I wanted to ask you. Last thing. What you think about NXT?
It was a good show. I like the feel of it on broadcast TV. Don't like the finish to Julia and Roxanne Perez, even though I guess to them it creates more of a story and more of a build out to either Julia or Stephanie Vicaire being the one to dethrone Roxanne. I just think that to open the show, you needed a big moment, and Cora Jade returning is not the big moment.
That's my thoughts on that exactly. I didn't watch the whole show because why would I?
Are you going to watch it next week since they're going head to head? So we could do what we did last year.
I gotta watch Dynamite. How can I watch it?
We got to keep tradition where we did both. We're going to be back on Thursday next week, despite Dynamite being on Tuesday, and that gives you an extra day to watch both shows.
I love that. I can't make any promises. I'm sorry. I tried. I watched Julia and Roxanne, and then that ended, and I was like, all right, I did my part.
If Julia had won, would you have continued watching?
Here's the thing. I don't hate the angle, but it doesn't work with Cora Jade. Like, if you're going to do this for a finish, you got to go bigger than the match. Like, it has to be fucking Becky or Charlotte or somebody to go, oh, that is better than an actual finish. Nah.
Or Stephanie Vicaire. If that's the finish you want to do, you have the new girl come in and she's the one that stops Julia because she wants to be the one who dethrones Roxanne. That makes more sense than Cora Jade, who you're seemingly teasing is going to align with Roxanne. That's like, yeah, exactly. That's how I felt. I was like, I like Cora Jade, but I'm just like, okay, that was lame.
I get I want to put the belt on Julia right away. It would feel weird to just have her come and beat the fucking prodigy, so to speak. But yeah.
But that's what NXT used to always do. like I'm just saying, like that's what y'all always used to do. Someone new comes in, and they get built to beat the next champion.
Yeah, I don't look forward to whatever about to happen in this feud either. I assume Stephanie were going to fight Roxanne. That's what they teased already. Julia versus Cora Jade. Like, what are we doing? Ew.
I think
it does lend credit to what you said last week. She might be there for the long haul if we're doing Cora Jade now. Ew. I was thinking we get 6 big matches to get the fuck out of here. Jesus.
He said
Which is what Penta should do, by the way. If he gets out of his deal before Phoenix, he should go to NXT. Do 6 matches to get the fuck out. This is your fault. You might as well stay busy while your brother's stuck.
Triple H gonna be so Triple H and Shawn Michaels gonna be so tight that this has happened with them probably already making promotional materials. Like, you know what? I know what you wanted, but you want us to sign our side of the contract? You're gonna have to go to NXT.
6 months. That's it. You'll be all right.
Big Man Doug says, just watch YouTube clicks and pretend you saw it all of it.
I do get that vibe from quite a few people talking about it. Like, I don't even know if you actually liked or hated this. I don't think you saw it.
No, I did like the episode overall because it was a lot less stupid shit that they used to have when they were on USA. It was a very like straightforward show. It was basically like 5 segments. You had the Cora, you had the Julia and Roxanne with the Cora return. You had Wesley and Zachary Wentz street fight, which was arguably the best match on the show. Then you had the women's tag team matchup with Jade and Bianca coming in at the end. That was a nice little angle. And you had Miss TV with Tony D'Angelo and Obafemi, and then you had the main event, which was ridiculously rushed because they did not time this show right.
Yeah, that's a star, by the way. Obafemi, that motherfucker. Yes. That's holy shit. He comes across like a star. He moves like a star. I can't wait. I'd bring him up now.
I think he loses next week, and you call him up.
Let's go. Yes to all of that. He's fantastic.
Because, I mean, what the fuck are you going to do with Tony D'Angelo if he loses next week? You built his he was scared as shit of Obafemi for good reason. And now he's gotten the courage to fight him again, and he's going to lose again? I don't see that. I think the right move is to have him win the North American Championship, because even though Tony D'Angelo probably been there like 2 more years than Obafemi has, Obafemi's already ready. Tony D could do another 6 months to a year.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, he's fucking great. No, he doesn't need to beat anybody for the belt. Enough. We're done with this. We did it. We're done. Let's go.
Even though I have no clue what the big feud is for Trick Williams now that he's champion again. I was like, I usually always know like what's their next feud or what's the big matchup that you can build to. And if Obafemi gets called up, I don't know what you do with Trick. I don't know. That would be the big matchup that you would be building to for the Trick second run. It's him and
I feel like if you miss the call though, we could have a fucking Braun Breaker situation where you end up spending another how many fucking months there when you didn't need to be there. I don't need to be here. I'm bored. Me and fucking what's his face Corbin. What are we doing? Let's go.
All good points. I did also love the Delta tease as well. I would.
I've never seen it. I have no clue. She's any good. Sorry. She's any good?
No, I've seen a little bit of her from like highlights that I've seen since I was told by good friend of the channel, Corey Brennan of Fightful Select, about her. I've seen some highlights. She has a different look to her, and that's why I like the vignette that they did, that she's probably going to debut at Halloween Havoc. All right, now I think that is officially, we're done with the WWE talk, guys. Next, Hangman Adam Page going one-on-one with Juice Robinson. Hangman Adam Page with this big dramatic entrance now as Juice Robinson comes out acting all crazy. Look at the look on this man's face. Page sprinted up the ramp and took the fight to Juice, who battled him back. He pulls out a leather strap and starts whipping him, channeling back to the Collision Grand Slam. The two men fought into the crowd. You had Robinson trying to double axe handle off the stage, but Page threw a punch and told referee Aubrey to shut her ass up as he whipped away at Robinson with the leather strap. Paige set up a table in the crowd and tried to power drive Juice through it, but Juice backdropped him on the concrete floor. They brawled up the stairs of the crowd. Robinson smacked Paige in the face with the fans' beer and popcorn. I was like, yo, they probably paid like $30 for that shit. That's wild. Paige gained control as we got back into the ring. Excalibur informed us at this point that Taz was attacked by an unknown assailant in the parking lot earlier in the day and was in rough shape after receiving medical attention at the hospital. He headed back home to New York. As we were told, how whoever the attacker was destroyed his leg. Back from break, Paige was crouched in the corner as Robinson started firing up with a series of jabs and then wished Paige a happy 5-year anniversary. He tried for the corner cannonball, but Paige moved to the floor again. They go as Paige dropped Robinson face first on the apron. Juice with this great sell of it. Took too long to charge as Robinson hit enough spine busters on the edge of the apron, and then he hit a violent cannonball against the barricade that broke. Back inside, Robinson tried a top rope crossbody, but Paige caught him and rolled through for a fallaway slam into the turnbuckle with another great sell by Juice. Tony Schiavone compared Robinson to Macho Man Randy Savage and Bruiser Brody as Paige wanted an avalanche deadeye, but Robinson fought free and hit a stacked powerbomb for a 2. Both men traded with the juices loose into the deadeye counters as Paige held referee Aubrey Edwards for leverage. He low-blowed him and then went to the apron to hit the buckshot lariat for the 1-2-3. Hangman Adam Page picking up the victory here. Post-match, Paige told Aubrey to get lost. He took the leather strap, took his belt off and wrapped it around Juice's throat. He then hanged Juice across the top turnbuckle and was holding on. The commentary team talked about the guns being taken out so they couldn't come and help Juice. But then the music of Switchblade Jay White hit, making his first appearance on in AEW television since July. He turned up and Paige turned his attention to the stage when White appeared from behind, shot down a takedown, fired all strikes. Paige tried to escape through the crowd when White was in pursuit. He went for the eyes and eventually speared Paige through the table that he set up earlier in the matchup in the crowd. White helped Juice to the back, who was like, he's back! He's back! and so Jay White says, I'm back for Hangman Adam Page, and they hit the guns up for the crowd. Great return for Jay White, who got a really nice pop from the crowd as soon as his music hit. And I'm interested. This feels like a genuine, unlike the whole Acclaim Bang Bang Scissor Gang bullshit that they were doing, this feels like a more legit way to have a Jay White be a babyface that can, if he's still in, this was still the Jay White character, the Switchblade character that was a heel, but he was going against another heel here, so he was the babyface. If you're able to do like that, he could become a very cool anti-hero babyface in a similar fashion to Swerve without all the coonery. I'm gonna say it before Jimmy could say it. But this was a great return for Jay White, and I enjoyed the brawl between Juice and Hangman. I know you would have loved for Hangman to beat him a lot faster, but I thought the brawl and the intensity was enjoyable for the time we got. Jimmy, what did you think?
I'll start with that last part. Yes, a lot faster. We're not equals. I like Juice, but we're not equals. Hangman is a fringe main eventer. Juice is a fringe mid-carder. He might be lower than that. No disrespect. I like Juice a lot. Way more than I should. Way more than anybody should. I can't explain why. Outside his energy is infectious. But Hangman is a borderline main eventer. Knock this off. How long was the match? 12 minutes?
I think 11.
Yeah, knock 4 off that. Knock 4 off that. Come on now. And just fucking win the fucking match. Jay White is back. I'm not excited as I would be because I know Tony Khan hates Jay White. But I am going to enjoy this while I can. He's getting a upper mid-card program with Hangman. This should be good. They're both very talented. It should be fun because they're both great. But yeah, I don't think
just over 10 minutes. But I guess with the brawl, it would be about closer to 12.
Yeah. Shave 4 off there. No disrespect. Or bring back the bums. Bring back Austin, what you call it, and have Hangman fuck them up for 2 or 3 minutes. I'm good with that. Sorry. No.
I enjoyed all of this. I'm cautiously optimistic about Jay White getting the push that he deserves. Fine.
That's what Professor Chris said about I think it was Willow during Revolution. I'm cautiously optimistic we're not going to fuck this push up. And here we are. How many months later? And we're finally getting back on track. Absolutely. Told you. I'm not cautiously optimistic about anything. Nope. Clearly a better deal maker than you are a booker. Sorry.
We got Power Driver Finisher says, I agree. Hanger should have beat him one-sided or squash. No, Juice is better. Juice is better.
I mean, you got to squash it.
Yeah, that's wild. Louisville says, welcome back, other scapegoat.
Scapegoat Jay White. Let's go.
He's the scapegoat for why MJF's babyface push didn't work.
Yes, it all fell apart with the Jay White match. Right. That's what did it. Enough people.
It's all that Jay White's fault. That goddamn Jay White. Speaking of scapegoats, and do you think we're gonna get Jay White versus Hangman at Wrestle Dream?
When is that?
That's the next
October.
Saturday. October 12th.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yes. We should.
Jay White should win.
Oy. How long is this movie MJF shooting is out? If he's out for longer than say,
we didn't even talk about that. It's actually a relatively notable movie, at least. Happy Gilmore 2. He's gonna play Adam Sandler's one of Happy Gilmore's sons.
Oh shit! Congrats. Yeah. Jay White should go over. Actually, no, it doesn't matter what happens. Jay White should go over. He needs it. Indeed, Louisville. He needs the win.
Yeah. I agree with that. I do agree with that. And they have plenty of history that you could play off of, and always their matches are good to great. So I expect it to be one of the better matches at Wrestle Dream if it is on that card. Renee Paquette is backstage, and she meets up with the awaiting Scapegoat bus to pull up as the TNT champion Jack Perry gets out, and he is met immediately by Katsuyori Shibata, who plays a message on his phone challenging him to a TNT title match at Wrestle Dream after Shibata made the save from Minoru Suzuki at Collision Grand Slam. Perry says that he'll think about it before walking away momentarily. When Shibata turns around, he doesn't even get to put his phone back in his pocket. He gets attacked from behind by Jack Perry, who flew back in, attacking him, slamming against the bus, and before accepting the challenge, so they'll go one-on-one for the TNT Championship at Wrestle Dream. I don't know. Usually I have a suggestion for how this should work, but I don't know how this would work. I just know that Jack Perry should not be this tough badass. He should be on the mic, act like he's a tough badass, but be a chicken shit.
That'd be more realistic at the very least. It would go with what we've seen that we didn't need to see because it made no sense to show it. But yeah. Didn't we have, let's see, it was Cody Rhodes versus Brody Lee, and then it was fucking Edge and Christian, and now we're here in the year 224, oh Lord, and it's Jack Perry versus Shibata. Holy shit.
It was actually earlier this year that we had Edge and Christian in the main event for the TNT Championship in Toronto.
This is pure spite. Okay, how many great promos he cuts? CM Punk will pay for his crimes. This being the biggest of them. Ill. Why are we still on this? Maybe now we have the TV deal. We can let this all go. Like, you know what? No harm, no foul. You won, we won. It's all good. Fuck it. No more pushing Jack. Despite ourselves. This is weird.
AEW World Champion Bryan Danielson is backstage cutting an intense promo saying that he's been having one sentence ran through his head all day. Fuck Jon Moxley. Bryan, that is not a sentence. then he realized this isn't about Moxley's world title. It's not even Danielson's championship. It's the AEW's world championship. This is where the best wrestle, which is why he challenged Kazuchika Okada, who broke his arm and his orbital bone in their previous matches, but he never broke his spirit. He says they are 1-1 in their previous matches, and this is all about the tiebreaker tonight. If Okada beats him tonight, Danielson's full-time career is over. While his Continental Championship is on the line for the first 20 minutes, his title and every minute of this matchup matters because it's all about keeping his career alive. And he wouldn't want it any other way. AEW, this is for you. Any other babyface saying that this title, this matchup is for the fans would come off either disingenuous or very corny. But in Bryan Danielson's case, no one cuts a fired up babyface promo quite like this man.
Buy it completely. And it feels genuine. And it's short and to the point. Unlike Edge, unlike Dax. Sorry, both great. It's awful. This is good. Dragon's fucking great at this. One of the best in the world. And he always has been. Well, not always, but for the last, 15 years. It's been a great promo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it really kind of started, I would say, the past decade. Because it really started in the rivalry with the Authority. Where he became, he's always been good, even from his time in Ring of Honor. He was a lot better than people gave him any right for, even in Ring of Honor. But, the Authority feud is where he really elevated himself.
Very true. Very true.
We got Fire Driver Finisher. It says, easiest catchphrase to chant is to simply agree in yes. Yes. And he also says Danielson is the best. Next week at Hometown's Own, it is not Pittsburgh anymore. Jimmy, we're talking about Britsburg. As Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, with the terrible towel at Pittsburgh Original. She is here going one-on-one with Serena Deeb in her first match since All in London. She's only had about 2 matches, being out for nearly a year, and she got a good ovation from this crowd in Pittsburgh. In the crowd watching this matchup was AEW Women's World Champion Mariah May. Deeb worked a wrist lock early on as Baker escaped, and she tried to lock on the lockjaw, but Deeb got to the ropes. You had Nigel McGuinness on commentary when Mariah May was shown. He said he perked up a bit as Excalibur tells him that Timeless Toni Storm appeared in Japan this past weekend, teaming with Mina Shirakawa, but no one tell Mariah that. Deeb worked a half crab, but Baker was able to make it to the ropes this time. She worked over the leg for a majority of this matchup. We get a misdirection by Brit, who connects with a neck breaker. Misdirection from Deeb, who fired off a chop block and a wrist clutch lariat to lay Baker out before we went to commercial. Coming back, Baker fought back with a ripcord elbow. When things return, we get a sling blade by her and a swinging fisherman suplex for a 2. She puts on the glove, but took too long to take advantage, so Deeb trapped the bad leg and hit a dragon screw. We get a stacked powerbomb, led to a stretch muffler from Deeb. Deeb was working off a lot of submissions in this matchup. Baker rolled through and got a cradle for a 2. Deeb avoided another ripcord elbow and hit a snap German suplex as both ladies traded lariats. Deeb wanted to detox, but Baker hit a air raid crash. Each woman basically escaped submission attempts before Deeb went to the top rope. Baker met her up there and hits an avalanche air raid crash for a near fall. Baker searched for and finally locked on after a super kick and multiple moves. It looked like Deeb was about to try to go for her submission hold, but Baker was able to reverse things, get her down on the ground into the lockjaw. She finally got the hand in the mouth, and completed the move to get the tap out victory almost immediately. Baker celebrates to the applause of the fans. Post-match, Deeb, though, attacks Baker from behind. She puts back on the half crab that she had on earlier in the matchup before Queen Aminata hits the ring to take down Deeb. They trade forearms for a bit before Deeb escapes. Aminata checks on Brit, who looked a little surprised by the assist before she did the DMD for her Britsburg crowd. This was probably the best match that Baker has had since coming back. I wouldn't say it was a good match, but it was fairly solid. It was fairly solid. I don't think this was the right person to put her in there with. I think Baker needs to have one of those like brawls. I think if she has like more of a brawl style or someone that she can work that brawling style for, that work with like the likes of Thunder Rosa and Chris Statlander in the past, I think that is where she'll have like the first really quality matchup that she's had since injury. But this was on the better side considering her last match with Mercedes.
Yes. I was thinking about taking a shot at Mercedes. I'm not going to do that. A lot of you blamed her for bringing Brit for that match. Mercedes had another stinker with Sheeta. I didn't forget. That's okay. That's okay. That's fine. It'll be all right. Brit, I'm glad she's back. The division could use her at this point since Tony is off in Japan doing something. I hope we continue. Oh, we'll get to it. Let's go to next. I don't know what's next for her. They have Mariah May in the crowd. That's concerning. Ain't gonna lie to you. But I think she could use some time away from a belt.
Yeah.
Blasphemy. Jesus. Not blasphemy, but kind of is crazy. Yeah, this was a nice. This was needed. I like that it did in Pittsburgh. You know it's gonna be a positive reaction. All those fucking smarks gonna shut up for at least their hometown fucking wrestler. It works. It works for me. It's a nice first step. The issue is there's only so high she can go at this point. Like she's never gonna be the face of the division again. She's not the best babyface.
She needs a feud outside of either title picture. That's why if I'm AEW, I would place her in a feud / potential partnership down the line with Deonna Purrazzo, since Deonna is starting a new all women stable, it seems, with Taya Valkyrie. I would have Britt kind of feud with them at first, and then eventually turn heel with them and be aligned with Deonna and company.
She can play fucking what? Is she the leader of that group, or is it Deonna's group?
It doesn't have to be anybody's group. They can.
No, it's not PFC or whatever the fuck it's called. No, PFC Junior. No. This is no. If there's no leader to the group, your group is ass. Sorry.
The artist collective.
That's a new rule. If there's no leader of your group is ass. Sorry. That stems the rules.
Tell Finn Balor that with Judgment Day. He said there's no leaders.
No leader here. It's been ass ever since. See? I'm trying to help you, sir. Oh, need a leader. Need a leader group. Hogan, Triple H, whoever. There's a leader to the group. Sorry.
Fair. Backstage, Renee Paquette is with the former FTW champion Hook and asks him for any word on his father after being attacked earlier in the day. Hook had to restrain himself initially from cursing, but then just said, you start shit with his family and he'll finish it. He's going to find whoever did this and come after him. I guess we should talk about the next segment because I think they are one and the same, because we then cut to Christian Cage, who is in the back, and he tells the crowd to sit down and shut up, which got some boos from the Pittsburgh crowd. If the fans were in awe in the first 5 years of what he did, he's the face of TBS. He's the future AEW world champion. He's the patriarch. He's the father figure. Soon enough, he'll have it all. Hook, line, and sinker. I think the fact that these two segments were back-to-back and the final line by Christian saying hook, line, and sinker. Is this Christian attacking Taz to become the new father figure for Hook?
Oh, I hope
he needs somebody because I don't know if you heard the news about Killswitch. Unfortunately, thoughts and prayers to him and his family. He collapsed at his home and he was having trouble breathing. Apparently, that was reported by Fightful. I can pull up the details here because I was like, when I heard that, I was like, oh no, that sounds really bad and really serious. Like, that's not something you play with or want to hear about anyone. So yeah, it was Fightful who reported this 3 days ago, saying that he had a scary medical situation. His fiance found him collapsed on Friday, September 27th. He was rushed to the hospital where they found his blood oxygen below 80% and determined that he had pneumonia in both lungs. It was discovered that he was days away from permanent lung damage. Killswitch has been on oxygen in the days that have followed and was told to expect a recovery of over a month. His in-ring return is unclear.
What the fuck's going on over there? So this is the fucking young people. Brit is having seizures and shit. What the fuck's going on? Yeah, that's scary. I found people collapse before. It's never a good feeling. It's like, holy shit. Maybe that's a bit of a downer. Well, I'm glad he's all right, at least for the moment. Pneumonia is also no joke. That can fucking kill you if you don't take care of it. As far as Christian and Hook go, I think I'd be here for it. Either way, Christian versus Hook or Hook is part of a stable with Christian. It's a lot he learned from Christian, obviously, talking being one of them. Yeah, you know what? Sold on Hook and Christian. I guess I have to do with the inevitable Hook versus fucking what's-his-face match, Nick Wayne. But, other than that, yeah, it'll be all right.
Yeah, I like it. But, yeah, get well soon to Luchasaurus, Killswitch. Hope, everything works out well and we see him back in the ring soon or just healthy in general soon.
Indeed.
We go backstage to Renee Paquette, and she is with Mariah May, bringing up the recent challengers potentially for her about Britt Baker, as well as Willow Nightingale. May said that Willow Nightingale is failing upwards somehow. She says that she lost to her in the she lost the TBS championship. She goes into the Owen Hart tournament. She loses to her in the Owen Hart tournament. She gets a CMLL Women's World Title shot. She loses that belt, and now she might be trying to get a AEW Women's World Championship bout, losing over and over again. Nightingale walks in and calls May a shady bitch. They both start arguing until May pie faces her. Security and Christopher Daniels step in to hold Willow back, saying to not do things here. I like the argument part of this a lot. And I even like Mariah May, even though a lot of what she said was true. I don't know how much that works for Willow, and Willow should be getting a much bigger push than what she has. And I know Jimmy's going to agree with that, but I really like the vibes that happened when they went face to face and they were just talking over each other. It felt like a genuine argument between women.
Yes, every woman's argument I've ever heard goes where I understood not a word. I hear a bitch every once in a blue, but I'm not quite following what's going on. If one of you could shut up when someone talks, that'd be great. What did I say? Oh, before I get into this, do we know what happened to Statlander? Is she hurt? Is this true?
No, she cut a promo on Collision Grand Slam.
Okay.
I don't know. She might be hurt of why she hasn't wrestled since All Out, but I know she has returned to TV.
So let me get this straight. All of us. I should say all of us. I don't remember how everybody felt about it. I know how I felt about it. I know when they had that fucking match and Statlander went over. I said there are two women champions in the company. They're both fucking heels. Willow should probably win this fucking match. And now here we are, and heel Mariah May needs an opponent, and here is fucking Willow, the person who lost the fucking match. What are we doing? This is the book of the year. Well, not anymore. I can't use that line anymore. That's a shame. This is the guy that fucking all of you guys tell me. I can't use that anymore either. You guys don't tell me anymore. What can I say about Tony Khan? Dummy. As I've been saying.
I thought you weren't going to call him dummy after the deal.
I said if it was a good deal.
It is a good deal. You said it earlier. It was a good deal.
It was fine. No. It was fine. That's what it is. It was fine.
It's history now.
What am I supposed to call him? What am I supposed to do with this? Again, what am I supposed to go with? This is a comment. This is a layup. It's a layup. It's Willow, the hottest fucking female actor of our company, and now she loses the Stanley Letter, and you need to heal champion, and you fucking. What are we doing? What are we doing? Why is this so difficult? Why is this so difficult? I don't ask for much. Tony Khan, sir. Why are we a dummy moment? Sure, a dummy moment that he has. I don't know, 10 or 11 times every fucking Wednesday. I don't understand. Somebody explain it to me. What the fuck? Good Lord. But yeah, what happened was great. Mariah was great. I agree with you. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about her pointing all this out. It feels like a bad idea. Unless you're going to have a non-title match. I'd be okay with that. Yeah. You have a non-title match, then Willow beats Mariah May, then you title match. I'm okay with that. That's how I feel about this whole show. It's like everybody who was a wrestler did great. The positions we ended up in afterwards, that's not their call. That's dummies. That's Tony Khan's call. Pardon me. And here we are. Jesus. Shut up, friend of world. Unless it's Andrade Arush, I don't want to hear another word. You are suspended until I hear something about Andrade or Arush, particularly together. I'm back. I'm walking. You ain't came back to that yet. It's been an hour and a half. You ain't said shit. I want to hear Andrade or Roosh or an apology.
You moonwalked and this nigga did the I'm right my well, you know you did. And walked right away from Andrade and Roosh. Oh man. Next up we had Private Party with new theme music. No more shots. It was Flex on them. They were facing the Iron Savages, Bronson and Boulder with Jack Jameson. Quick start to the matchup by Cassidy and Quinn with early drop kicks, insecurities until Boulder was low bridge outside, taking him out with the dive. We saw Stokely Hathaway watching this matchup backstage, applauding Private Party, as Tony Schiavone calls him the shadiest character of all time. We get a botched gin and juice by Private Party, but they still pick up the victory. That was the entire matchup. Private Party get the 1-2-3 to get the win here, looking dominant after getting beaten down and plundered by Blackpool Combat Club the past few weeks. They needed a strong win, and they got it here. Nigel McGuinness says this will go a long way to get a title shot, which they want right now, apparently. Isaiah Cassidy gets on the mic and said at the beginning of the year, he said, new year, new champs, and he doesn't care about his hand. Quinn doesn't care that he's just come back from a pec injury. They will be the next AEW World Tag Team Champions, and they call out the Young Bucks and they tell him to suck his ass. They want them out here, right now. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson show up, rise from the stage, and said that you can't have a 5-year anniversary without your EVPs. Matthew said that they'll have a substantial overrun tonight, so he came up with a good idea. How about they put the titles on the line right here and now? The Bucks power walk to the ring, but then they put the brakes on due to their limited dates on their contract. They're not going to waste one in a city like Pittsburgh, but it's Jack Perry who attacks Cassidy and Quinn from behind as the Bucks join in to jump them. And then the music of Katsuyori Shibata hits. He runs down to make the save for Quinn and Zay. Christopher Daniels then shows up on the stage and he says that Private Party have been thorns in the Bucks' sides since the start of AEW. So he made a 6-man tag team matchup of Shibata and Private Party versus the Elites, Jack Perry, and the Young Bucks for this Friday on Rampage. I don't know how to feel about this. I think that this was a good first step for Private Party if you want to get them back into tag team competition. And I do think that Private Party is the kind of team I would like to see, get more opportunities and be featured more in the tag team division. But you need more than one win for them to do that. Them getting one win over a team that always loses in the Iron Savages and then immediately thrusting themselves into title contention, I don't think it works, especially in a company like AEW. I don't think that works very well. But if they're going to win on Friday on Rampage, that's another step in the right direction. So I'm willing to give this a chance. But yeah, it's just something that was off for me here. What did you think?
Squash is what it was. Always happy to see squash. Always. Post-match, I thought was well done because I thought they might actually do the match. So we had so much time left. But yeah, I can't take Private Party seriously. I just can't. It's been 5 years. I can't. I'm sorry. They can win all the matches they want.
I would have liked for Zay to say, like, we got our ass kicked by Blackpool Combat Club, but I also listened to the Blackpool Combat Club and I listened to what Moxley said, and we need to move forward after being stuck in the same place for 5 years. If he would acknowledge the fact that he took something from those ass kicking and that's why they were trying to go for the tag team titles, I think this would have worked better for him.
Yeah, maybe. Speaking of Christopher Daniels, by the way, who showed up here, I gotta say this. I know he said no more WWE talk, but Triple H got a little Tony Khan-ish with this recent shit. Why are you showing up in NXT to fucking do your fucking thing? All in the videos, all on the records. Dancer, love you, sir. I know you're watching. Just give it a break. Sorry.
Yo, I said the same thing. I was like, first you got Sean coming out, dancing the sexy boy at almost 60 years old. Then you got Triple H, you just with a grandstand. I was like, this grandstanding ass nigga. What are you doing? You haven't showed up on NXT in what? 3 years? Like, what are you doing?
We get it. Vince isn't here anymore. You're the face. We got it. The stockholders are fine. They'll be all right. We get it.
No, sexy.
His voice, ironically, sounds exactly the same.
Yeah.
His voice is still not 60. Or it's always been 60.
Or he doesn't look like he's been a chain smoker like Triple H. Renee Paquette is backstage with newest AEW signing MVP as he informs Paquette that he has an announcement to make when Prince Nana interrupts. Nana says that MVP spoke real spicy about himself and Swerve Strickland, and he reminds MVP he used to wrestle and can lace his boots up at any time. MVP says, whoa, that sounds like a problem for the complaint department, and that means you got to talk to my complaint department who's right behind you. And Prince Nana turns around to see Shelton Benjamin. Oh my God, did you hear that pop? It's right? Like, holy shit. I think that's the loudest pop I've heard for a backstage introduction of someone. The crowd went crazy. He had a huge reaction in Pittsburgh. But Prince Nana, he introduces him to MVP introduces Nana to Shelton Benjamin, the new complaint department head, and Benjamin takes a sip of Nana's coffee, says it's pretty good before walking off with MVP. This was a nice, subtle way to introduce him. I think that this is all about building more anticipation for the big act of the Hurt Syndicate, which is MVP. Fightful Select did confirm in a report following the debut of Shelton Benjamin that, yes, in fact, Bobby Lashley has also signed with All Elite Wrestling. So I think that's the big one that's probably they're going to say for Wrestle Dream. What did you think about Shelton Benjamin's introduction and arrival in All Elite Wrestling?
This was great character work from fucking everybody here. MVP talking shit. Nana feeling rather bold, beating up an I won't say injured, but clearly not what he was, old man and MVP, and then immediately going, "Oh, him? Nah, I'm good. Never mind." And Shelton was great here. Shelton, who is like I don't know, I can't say that's the truth. Back in the day, he was like an average size for a wrestler. He's big now, and he's gigantic in AEW. He's frightening. I'm here for it. I like all this. I like the way this was done. I can't believe how well this was well booked. First thing well booked all night.
This was a very well put together backstage segment, and like last week, what I really complimented the MVP printed on promo. It was a good cliffhanger of, oh, I gotta keep watching to see how this is all coming together. This was a nice little second step for the Hurt Syndicate.
I really hope Mercedes isn't in this group. I ain't gonna lie to you. I really, really don't want her in this group.
I love that Mercedes is just teasing that she could join any group. They need to do like the old school fucking Macho Man when all the managers trying to recruit him. It's the elite. It's the elite, the Hurt Syndicate, and you could throw in like another team trying to recruit Mercedes into the group.
Agree. Is there one we can put in this group?
Huh?
It's not Mercedes. Is there one we can put into this group that's not Mercedes? Queen
Red
Amanada.
Velvet or Queen Amanada, yeah.
Yeah. We'll see.
Frantic Girl says, so happy for Shelton.
Who cares? Nope. You're not going to do this. Answer for your crimes, sir. Answer for your fucking crimes. Be a man like Darby and take it. Be a man.
King Potato says, I like the slow rollout for the Hurt Syndicate. Give me Bobby versus Hobbs in a good old-fashioned meat match. Yeah, who do you? I think I actually just last week, but do you think that we've heard people say suggest Hobbs joins the group? I've heard rumors of like someone like EJ and Duca join the group. Who do you think is like the person you would like to see connected to the Hurt Syndicate?
Not EJ and Duca because he likes Swerve. Yeah, you're out.
No, that would be the thing. He turns on Swerve to join the Hurt Syndicate.
No, I don't want him getting any TV time.
No, sorry, we're not going to do it.
Opinions of Jimmy Macram do not necessarily reflect those of True Heel Heat, its viewers, or affiliates.
He popped up on my fucking Twitter feed. He was quoting something. I couldn't see what he was quoting. I saw he was quoting Swerve, and I tried to click on it. I couldn't see anything Swerve was saying. What the fuck's going on? What did Swerve say?
That's how you realize that Swerve blocked you?
Yes. What the fuck's he even babbling about? What is he quoting?
How many times did you call him a coon on Twitter?
On Twitter, I think once or twice. On this show, I call him a coon every day. But on Twitter, just once or twice.
See, thanks for watching, Swerve, because I had to check. After I saw that you were blocked, I was like, I swear, I retweeted something from Swerve a couple of days ago. And I checked, Swerve don't have me blocked. So I appreciate him for recognizing and not connecting me with this nigga over here. That ain't me.
I think like somebody said something about Swerve positive, and I said this is Swerve, and it was like Uncle Ruckus thing or Steven from Django or something. He apparently saw it. He was not pleased. It's like this. No, it said this guy limits who can see his this, that, and the third. And I was like, why would Swerve limit who can see his thing? You're blocked.
I can't breathe. Oh my god. Oh shit.
You did it, Swerve. Don't put it on me. Mad at me for?
Oh my god, that is the funniest. Big Man Dog says Swerve, EJ and Duca, and Candace Owens.
Absolutely. These black bitches do be tripping. Thank you. Thank you, Candace. Thank you, Candace.
Oh my god. All right, let's talk about the main event of this show. where Jimmy gets blocked by someone else. Bryan Danielson defending the AEW World Championship in a title versus title matchup against AEW Continental Champion Kazuchika Okada. Okada's Continental title was only on the line in the first 20 minutes per the standard ruling for title matches on TV. And this was not actually the first time that that's ever been done in professional wrestling. I looked it up that a lot of the NWA, WCW used to have like world champion or US champion versus TV champion, where the TV title was only on the line for a certain amount of time against the other bigger titles. So it makes sense. It's a very old school way of having a title versus title matchup without trying to change the titles, changing both titles at the same time. Crowd got hyped up for a stare down to kick things off. And I like the story of this matchup with Okada basically working like he's in a New Japan 10-man tag for the first 20 minutes, stalling as much as he could to get away from his title being up for grabs and realizing that Danielson had to beat him within 20 minutes. He didn't have to beat Danielson in 20 minutes. They did some standard groundwork before Okada missed a drop kick. Danielson whiffed on a high kick, and we got a series of takedowns and arm drags that led to a stalemate. When they returned from commercial break, commentary talked about how slowly Okada is going, as it's a tactic to retain his Continental title. Once he runs out the clock long enough and his title is no longer on the line, he can kick things into gear. Danielson fired up with some forearms, but Okada met him with a flapjack to regain control. He followed with a neck breaker for a two count. Okada slowly continued his offense but Danielson battled back, attempting a top rope headbutt, but he missed. Money clip was applied by Okada, but Danielson escaped only to get spiked with a DDT. Okada, showing no sense of urgency, just walks over Danielson in the corner. He hits a drop kick to the floor. Okada repeatedly slammed Danielson into the barricade before breaking the count and booting Danielson into the crowd. Danielson avoided a draping DDT and broke the count himself, slammed Okada into the barricade before heading back inside for a top rope dropkick, which only sent Okada back to the outside once again, him trying to waste time. Tope Suicida connects by Danielson, who follows up with another top rope dropkick and yes kicks at the 16-minute mark. The two started trading pinfalls and uppercuts, and then we get an intense stare down with them turning it up a bit with some slaps until Danielson did the black flip out of the corner, only to be met with Okada hitting a pitch-perfect drop kick. He hits the same elbow drop that injured him all those months ago last year at Forbidden Door, and then he does the Rainmaker pose, flipping off the crowd, much to the delight of Nigel McGuinness, who was owning in this matchup, saying like, "Oh, that's the move that broke his arm. Break his arm again." Okada goes for the Rainmaker, but Danielson counters into a triangle, transitioning into the label lock. He tries for the Clarky Clack, getting both arms back the same way he beat him at Forbidden Door, but Okada uses his long legs to break the submission. Danielson hits the Psycho knee, but Okada rolls out of the ring to the floor.
Superhero! Superhero! I'm like a superhero.
I know, I see that. You want to say hi to Jimmy?
Hi, I'm a superhero. What?
There you got your Harlem running. I know you guys do your bingo cards. There you go. Okay. At that point, Okada rolled to the floor. He sold on the outside, but he still had a smile on his face when he heard the 20-minute call, meaning that the Continental Championship was officially safe and that the duration of the matchup was for the AEW World Title. Danielson flew off the top to a massive dive, the old uncoordinated dive that he used to do in Ring of Honor. But Okada then hits him with a tombstone on a steel chair at ringside at a commercial break. They continue to an avalanche back suplex from Danielson. He follows off corner strikes and dropping Okada with a German suplex. He took too long to follow up, so Okada hits another drop kick. Danielson avoids a Rainmaker as both men were trading wrist control. Danielson ultimately stomps down repeatedly on Okada Danielson wants the home run shot, but Okada counters a Briscoe knee into a rainmaker that turned Danielson inside out. They started trading forearms while on their hands and knees as Danielson collapsed, but instead started firing up. Danielson flipped out of a German suplex and hits a Briscoe knee, but Okada comes back with a Briscoe knee of himself, only for a 2 count. They traded Rainmaker attempts with Danielson hitting the hardest Rainmaker or hardest lariat I've seen Danielson hit in his career for a very close near fall. He does the hammer and anvil elbows, but powers out, does Okada into a future shock, dropping him right on his neck. He gets the wrist clutch and short arm lariats until we see Claudio Castagnoli and Pac showing up in the crowd. Okada made eye contact with Castagnoli, and that distraction was enough for Danielson to reverse the Rainmaker into a backslide for the 1-2-3. Bryan Danielson retains the AEW World Championship. Post-match, Okada grabs Danielson from behind and hits him with the Rainmaker. He then grabs the Continental Championship and flips off Claudio and Pac, storming to the back. Both Pac and Castagnoli get in the ring. They pull Danielson to his knees as Jon Moxley and Marina Shafir show up. Mox told Danielson to get through his blueberry picking brain as everything he's doing. Yes, he said that. Everything he's doing is because he has to. If this was anyone else, he would have put him out of his misery years ago. Wheeler Yuta sprints out with the hammer as Moxley and company bailed, but Moxley got right back into the ring and stared down Yuta, daring him to use it. Yuta looks at the hammer and ponders what to do before Danielson charges at Moxley, while Claudio tries to go and hold Yuta, making him watch, but Yuta tries to fight him off, but Castagnoli never throws a strike. They eventually bail from the ring, does the BCC. Yuta takes the mic and says that he's tired of being treated like a child by Claudio and others. He can make his own decisions and fight his own fights, and that's why next week, Title Tuesday, if Castagnoli and Pac want to get to Danielson, they'll have to go through Yuta. Danielson announces the match that it will be Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Yuta facing Claudio Castagnoli and Pac of the Blackpool Combat Club. This was officially announced by Tony Khan as commentary announces it, and we end the show with Danielson and Yuta standing tall. I thought the match, especially the back half after the 20-minute Continental Classic, Continental Rules was over, I thought it was great. I think they really turned it up. It shifted it into the next gear with Okada showing more of the Okada of old in New Japan, how he usually used to work his 30-minute matches, and it was a really good end to the matchup. The finish, I could have done without. I would have liked for one guy or the other to win just straight up without any distractions, but it plays into the storyline with the Blackpool Combat Club and Danielson here. I like the post-match because it did give just a shade of amenity of what Yuta is going to eventually do, especially next week with the tag team matchup. But I think it is setting up Bryan Danielson. It's a trap. It's a fucking trap. Jimmy, what did you think about Okada and Danielson and the post-match?
Overall, I would say a good match. First 15, 20 minutes was a fucking bore. I always say, well, I don't always say, but I say it as often as I can. Just because something makes sense does not mean it's interesting. This all made sense. It's not very interesting. The last 10, 15 minutes I thought was really good. As far as the finish goes, I should have. Okay, I thought I'd be alone on this. Thank you. Stunk. I love that. So look at some backup. I increased the shittiness of it. Yes. The finish I hated in the moment. Afterwards, I don't think it's very good, but it's fine, I guess. It keeps things together. It kind of makes the Blackpool Combat Club look like fucking idiots. Why weren't you out here since 20 minutes were up? What if Dragon won in 25 minutes? Then what? Where the fuck were you? Chilling? Hanging out? Blueberry picking mind is so not Moxley. I have to imagine he was going to say cotton picking and immediately changed his mind halfway through a sentence. I had to imagine. Because that's the phrase. The phrase is cotton picking, not blueberry picking. What? Doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Head shaved. Okay, he's like, I shouldn't say cotton picking, man. I'm not gonna get away with that anymore. Yeah, this was all fine. Fine. I skipped it. It was great.
No, it was great. You skipped the first 20 minutes. No, you didn't even need to skip the first 20 minutes. First 15 minutes, they were just working to get to the 5-minute call for the 20-minute time limit, and then they turned it up to at least the second gear, and then after the 20 minutes, they finally got into the third gear, and it was really great.
Your time is valuable, sir. Your time that valuable. You have kids.
I do.
Your time is very valuable.
They're asleep at that time.
You let them fuck around with your 15 minutes. Okay,
They're asleep at that time. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this a lot. But yeah, I think it's setting up for the trap though for next week. Do you think that Wheeler Yuta turns heel next week?
He should not. He's not a very good heel. No disrespect, but he probably will. With more than probably, we got a 95% chance. If he doesn't, that's the swerve. He doesn't. I'm so annoyed. Please don't.
I would enjoy that too if it wasn't a swerve. That's the swerve. That it wasn't a swerve.
Please. He's a fun babyface. Fun is strong. He's a solid babyface. As a heel, he just looks, especially compared with the other psychopaths in the group, he doesn't feel like them. They all look nuts. Moxley in particular, and then Pac, the fucking hair. Claudio's gigantic, and then here's this thing. This pouty thing over here, making faces. Ugh. Boo. Boo. Sorry.
We shall see how it goes down. Title Tuesday, next Tuesday, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on TBS. They did clarify that on commentary throughout the show. I'm going to try to watch it live, but I usually...
It's going to be 2 hours?
Yeah, it's going to be 2 hours.
Thank God. This 2.5 hours of flop. I hope this wasn't a trial for 3 hours. Please don't. Please don't.
No, please don't. Please don't. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. We need all wrestling, especially from the main two companies, to stop doing 3-hour shows.
Yeah. I changed my mind on that. I thought Raw was good at 3 hours. And then, yeah.
This past week made you change your mind.
Changed my mind on this. Changed my mind on
that. Was once. I said it on Rated Raw review. I was like, that was the worst first hour of Raw since June. Since at least
jarring
for me.
Yeah. What was it? The J promo I didn't like. Holy shit, I just didn't like. I was like, I don't care about a lot of these people. Sorry.
The only bright side was the New Day story.
Who thought we said that a few months ago? Yeah, that shit was great.
It's been one of the highlights of Monday. Probably my favorite thing on Monday Night Raw right now.
Guess they don't count as black. It's a frantic world and the rest of the world. But oh well, it's all right.
They still haven't been on pay-per-view this year.
That's all that counts, huh? Those 5 fucking matches. Which I all told you, by the way. And you all told me it's going to be 6 matches. It's going to be 6 matches. They're going to do good. And I said, no. You're like what Fightful said. My eyes say 5 because that's all we get.
He's a 5-match merchant. 5-match merchant.
I'm okay with it.
I'm not.
Let me get the fuck out of here.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us live. As always, Thursdays here for AEWramble. Appreciate y'all bringing the chatter, bringing the conversation in the live chat, and for your super chat donations. Final call for super chat donations as we're going to wrap things up here. But also, give us your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP, your thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and out of 10, what did you give this show? For me and Jimmy, for AEW Dynamite 5-year anniversary in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board from both of us. Jimmy, out of 10, what did you give this show?
7. I was hesitating on going that high. I totally forgot fucking Ricochet and Ospreay was on this fucking show. So long ago by the end of the show. I'm going to go for 7. 7.
We're right on. This is a rare case where we're right on the same page. I also give this a 7. 7 out of 10 show.
Fucking know it.
7 out of 10 show for me. What was your match of the night, Jimmy?
Ospreay and Ricochet. As silly as it all was, I was not bored for the first 20 minutes.
I'm gonna give it to Dragon and Okada. I enjoyed the back half so much when they turned it up. And I'm willing to go into the motions of the first 10 or so minutes.
I love that 10 or so. It was 20, then it was 15, now it's 10.
Yep. I realized I like some things about the minute 11. What was your MVP for the show, Jimmy?
I'm going to go with Darby. I thought he was the best promo of the night. And the only thing I truly liked on the show.
I'm going to go co-MVP for Darby and Switchblade Jay White for his return. Honorable mention to Shelton Benjamin, because that pop, he didn't do anything to get the MVP, but that pop I was like, God damn. I was like, all you have to do is be great in a time when there wasn't a lot of great stuff. And you get a big pop wherever you go.
That's wrong. Ain't that the truth?
A bunch of 7s in the chat. We got a 7.5 from Louisville, 7.5 from Frantic World. Annika went 8. She seems like
really
high for the show. Power Drive Finisher gives it a 7. Big Man Dogs a 7. King Potatoes a 7. Chuck Berry's a 7. Louisville agrees with me with Bryan Danielson and Kashiko Okada for match of the night. Power Driver Finisher agrees with you for Ospreay and Ricochet. We got Chase with a 6.5. We got MVP. Power Driver Finisher says Shelton and Mox. LVP for the show. Jimmy.
I don't want to give it to Tony Khan again every week with this shit. I'm going to give it to Hollywood Ospreay. I know, match of the night and LVP. How? He had a big hand in the finish. He beat this guy twice and then tried to protect him twice. No, that's not how that works, sir. All he did was make a mess. Yeah, I'm going Hollywood. Hollywood the Booker, that is. Booker.
I'm going with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho. He's like my go-to. He's my go-to. As many MVPs as MJF has gotten on this show, I think Jericho's gotten as much LVPs from me. So he gets the LVP for this week. All right, Jimmy, thank you so much for joining me. As always, Thursdays, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, AEWramble, the best AEW Dynamite review in the land. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media, what you got going on your channel.
Jimmy Macram on Twitter, I guess. Unless you don't like what I have to say.
Fair enough. It's just word.
Fair enough. And Jimmy Macram on YouTube. We watch television shows and movies.
Yes, he's doing great stuff over there. I got to get into the Penguin. I might join you for that. I've been hearing good things. My mom this week even told me, "You've been watching Penguin?" But she was big into Gotham. When we were watching Gotham, she was big into that. So she was like, "You watching the Penguin?"
This is better than that fucking ridiculousness. You know, I did enjoy it anyway.
The late season, the last season sucked, but there was they had the season 2 through like 4 or 5. They were in my bag.
Perfectly ridiculous. Yes,
perfectly ridiculous. So I'm gonna check out the Penguin for sure. And yes, you can check us out talking about the Bear coming up. He's got the final set for you to enjoy over there. And you can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at TrueHillHeat. Patreon.com/TrueHillHeat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best place to support us when we are not live here. And I will be back with you tomorrow at 12:05 p.m. Eastern Time. It will be myself and the gentleman joining us in the chat, Chase Oliver. We will be here to review the 6-part docuseries, Mr. McMahon, on Netflix. We're going to be talking about each episode, giving you our thoughts and opinions of everything that we saw on the show. So Join us live tomorrow, 12:05 p.m. Eastern Time. And of course, I'll be back on Saturday, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time with the True Hill Heat flagship podcast. We'll be talking more about the AEW TV deal, Shelton Benjamin's debut in AEW, everything going on in WWE, New Japan, and anywhere else in the wrestling world. The best place to get that up to date. But for Jimmy, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been AEW Ramble number 166, renewed for the AEW Dynamite 5-year anniversary. We are signing off until next time.